Hello everyone, welcome to an all-star race. Everyone, an all-star race season seems to be the right time for us here at FRN, and today we have the RTG Speedway all-star race. My name is Anthony McCurry, alongside of me is Jessica Shelton. We're getting ready for tonight's all-star race here at RTG Motor Speedway. Tonight we're going to do something a little different, however. We're going to start with a quick interview with one of our drivers in this race. Dave Robbins is here in the booth with us. How you feeling tonight, Dave?
Real good. Thanks, guys, for having me up with you.
It's a pleasure to have you up here. Tonight is obviously an all-star race. It's no points are on the line, but bragging rights are on the line. How are you feeling tonight? Are you excited? Are you nervous? How do you feel?
A little dumbfounded, really. I have always had a bit of trouble with this track, and I've also had some connection problems lately that's kept me from getting out and practicing much. But I think I actually found something in qualifying a little bit that may help me. So we'll see what happens.
Well, we're excited to see you race tonight, and how does the track feel? You see that you don't like you're not really good at the track. How does the track feel tonight? Because I was looking at you in practice, and you seem to be doing pretty well.
Well, my lap times are off by several tenths. I'm tight. I see guys getting real good times out there, and there's something I'm missing that I just have to find. So I'm just going to have to search around till I find it.
Well, we look forward to seeing you on track tonight. We do this with everybody that we bring into the booth for a interview. We're going to let you have a chance to do some shout outs if you like.
Absolutely. I'd love to thank RTG in general for putting these on. I've raced with them for years. They're an awesome crew. Shout out to Terry Bauman, who's racing but a little bit under the weather, and we're hoping he feels better. And a special shout out to Tony Fox, a longtime friend and RTG admin that's had some pretty severe health issues lately, but is bouncing back tremendously.
All right. Well, we wish you good luck in the race, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. Well, everyone, welcome to the All-Star Race here at RTG Motor Speedway. Again, I am Anthony McCurry, joined alongside of Jessica Shelton for tonight's race. Jess, how are you feeling tonight? That's how she's feeling tonight.
For tonight's race, it's going to be really great. We're going to be going green for 134 laps of this race. And while we're going green for 134 laps, we also got the idea of knowing it being the All-Star race, Anthony. And with it being the All-Star race itself, you know what that means. It means that what we saw at the Open, as aggressive as they were, and as banging and beating as they were, it was just amazing watching all this on Monday night. Anthony, you unfortunately weren't here to call the action like Michael Norman was with me, but we know that we saw a slight mistake by a couple of drivers for the end of that. They got spread out. There were wrecks left and right for them being so aggressive, trying to get track position. Nothing too dirty, nothing too disrespectful. It was all in good fun and enjoyment from everybody. But it was a great race with a lot of action. It had a little bit of everything, including a couple times at the end, near the end of the Open for the segment. Anthony, they had a little bit of an incident with the leaders, and that caused a new leader, and then that caused more transfer positions to be open. And then toward the end of the race itself, we had another incident. So newcomers, new goers, realistic damage. This time we got the main event field, 134 laps. This is the All-Star race itself. It's going to be a lot more aggressive than what we saw last time, I'm sure.
Indeed, and this track is not an easy one either. I've been watching these guys throughout all of practice and during this happy hour segment. They are having a hard time getting down on pit road, and obviously with the track length or the race length that we have tonight, pits are getting gas and tires are going to be key in winning this race. And I've seen that they've had some troubles getting onto it, and you got to be careful when getting on. It's a very slick pit entrance. If you go in too fast, it could end up badly for you. If you go in too slowly, you don't want to give up that much time. Also, the track is flat. This is a very flat, fast racetrack, and we should see them get up to some, around 180 miles an hour, and then dip down into these flat turns. Should be a fun race all around.
Yeah, with this being like the old bank at Las Vegas, that's like a revamped version of it. We've seen the last time we broadcast here, which was I think we had a broadcast here last week. I'm not sure with what series. I think it was the Barebone series, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong in that analogy. If I am, I do apologize. But we saw them come off the corner off of turn 4 and have issues getting on the pit road. And when we saw that, we know that that pit road is so slick that they have to be very careful getting down. Saw a driver that was in it slam the pit wall barrier last time. I mean, there was a lot of people making mistakes on pit road. Now the question is, can they actually get themselves set up, organized, and actually race this without any incidents and making it on pit road? Or are we going to have a lot of damage off pace cars? Are we going to have variances all over the place? We don't know until the race actually begins and gets underway. I don't know if they're going to go all out to begin with, or if they're actually going to try to maintain themselves P's and Q's until the end of this race. So we're going to find out what they can do.
Indeed. So I'm looking forward to this race. This is my first time commentating an RTG All Star race, so I'm very excited to see how this race will go. Really quickly, I am gonna try and fix something really quickly. Jessica, you have anything else you want to say about this race? Any other info that we need to know?
Well, what I'm looking at is we're getting ready to go green. We're getting gridded up right now on the pit road, but I don't know if this is any indication like the Open that we had on Monday. This is going to be one for the ages. In order to be part of this, I'm not sure if you alluded to this earlier, Anthony. I did not hear you exactly because my connection kind of derped for a couple moments. But you have to have won a Speedway race in season 48, 49, or last season in season 50 in this series, or you have had to have won a championship that was a Speedway championship. We're talking the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday series that are run over in RTG. Now, we have the people who won in the Open, like Glenn Harris, that got transferred in. We had John Godfrey that got transferred in. I believe Robert Balcom won. I'm not sure. I believe Balcom's in it. Yeah, Balcom is starting in this field as well. Okay. Chris Elliott and Bobby Farrell were the two owner picks that actually were able to get in as their determination. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. Was it worth it? We'll find out, won't we, Anthony? Was it all worth it trying to get in this, or is it going to be all for nothing and wrecked out earlier? Who knows what's going to happen, Anthony? Who knows? I don't know what the pit window is. I'm hoping to get a update on the pit window for this, and I'll let you know when I do.
Indeed, it's going to be a lot of unknowns for this track. This is the first time I've ever seen a race at this track, and it's the first time I've seen these cars race at this track. It's been a while since I've seen these cars race in general. These are the, the classic 1988 stock cars, so this should be a fun race to watch. Josh Metallic is on the front row for tonight's race. He is in the pole, followed by Chris Elliott in the number 9 car. And then we have Andre Mangian in the number 27, and then Jeff Zupter in the 11. He'll be starting in the 4th position. We're about to get underway here at RTG Motor Speedway. 134 laps of all-star racing, and we are green. Josh Metallic takes the field down for the first time through the tri-oval. It looks like it's a nice start by Elliott on the high side. He's going to stay up there. He's going to run the extreme high side, trying to stay away from the 27 of Mangian as much as possible. It looks like Mangian's going to get to the inside, and he will take the 2nd position. He's come even with Elliott at the very least. He's going to try and take the 2nd position, but Elliott's still pounding away on the high side.
And meanwhile, back here, there's a battle going on for position between Grant Wesley and Chuck McClure. Chuck McClure was able to solidify his way in the open, getting in that way, I believe, and he's going to take the position. Grant's going to go back down to 7th right now, as they're still battling up front with Chris Elliott on the high side. He's losing a little bit of ground. Looks like he's going to try to tuck in behind the 11 machine of Jeff Supta, who's running the Tony Fox tribute scheme, which is a very nice scheme. And speaking of Tony Fox real quick, we'll get well soon to Tony Fox, a good colleague and a good friend of RTG people over here. He's raced over here for a long time, and we were hoping for him to have a speedy recovery. Was able to see him a little bit earlier. He's doing well, and we wish him and his family all the best as he's on his road to recovery.
Indeed, it was nice to talk to him earlier in the race, or earlier in the day rather, and he is getting well, as Jessica said, and we do hope for the best for him. Chris Elliott has gotten to the inside. He is now in line with all these other drivers, and they have all kind of, gotten to a bit of a groove. We're running about a single file. This is the Speedway after all. This is not a super Speedway, so, you kind of get in line and mind your P's and Q's and settle in. It's a long race, realistic damage. You don't want to use up all of your stuff so quickly, as we've seen some of these races where someone will maybe tag the wall a little bit and get some aero damage, and then they can't have the same top speed as their other drivers. So you have to be careful throughout the entirety of the race. You cannot use up your stuff so quickly, especially on this track. And as I just say that, Elliott grabs a piece of the wall. He's still riding the wall a little bit. You gotta be careful when doing that.
Yeah, I'm watching them back here at the back. They look like they're trying to space themselves out really nicely. Glenn Harris back here in the 19th. Glenn Harris was one of the segment winners. He won the segment 3 race on Monday in the Open, along with Bobby Farrell, who was one of the transfer drivers. They seem to be taking it nice and calm. John Godfrey back here, he was one of the other segment. He transferred through 2nd place. And Richard Martin back here running the quote-unquote Earnhardt, Petty, Jimmy Johnson type tribute, I believe is what we were talking about the Earnhardt Petty tribute car back here. But they seem to be going side by side. It looks like Dante's trying to look on the high side. He's driving the 84 up here. He's trying to go on the high side of Bob 7 Air in the 712 back here, and this is for the looks like the 13th position.
Indeed it is. It's going to be an attempt. It's not going to work. The inside line around here seems to be the preferred line. He did have a go. Might be trying something for later on the race, seeing if you can get a drive out of turn 4 down to the front straightaway. Seeing if you can maybe get the one over on the guy in front. That might be what this race comes down to later on in the race. We don't know yet, and we have a long way to go before we can even talk about something like that. There is Dave Robbins. He is he's the driver that we interviewed at the beginning of the night, and he is now taking what I believe is the 9th position away from Dave Melson. He is past Melson for the 9th position, and he's doing pretty well. He kind of sold himself a little bit short. I think he's doing pretty all right. He's in the top 10. He's making passes. And, it's early on in the race, but we should see him continue that run.
We have a battle brewing up for second place on the track. It looks like side by side up front.
We do. I was going to that while I was finishing the ramble. Manjan was underneath of Jeff Zupka in the 11. He is trying to get that position, but Zupka on the high side is actually going to hold on to the second place position right behind Metallic as they go down the back straight. Going down through turns 3 and 4 once again. Looks like everyone's kind of settling into a run. We did have that one attempt, and everyone's kind of, settling in. It's going to be a long one. As I mentioned before, there's a Zach Freeman in the 006, very bright green car that we're going to see pretty much all night tonight. He's running in the 11th position. Robert Balcom running in the 018, doing well tonight. He's running up here in the 8th position.
Yeah, it looks like there's a gap right now going on where 8th is to the 7th place driver. It looks like there's a little bit of a gap forming in the top 6 or pulling away a little bit, looks like. And there's a battle going on, and someone's way up near the high side of the track here. We just need to make sure they mind themselves P's and Q's and not get too aggressive to the end of this.
As we say that, Jeff Zupta is going for the lead on Metallic. He's on the inside line, but Metallic is finding back on the outside line. He's running a little bit high on the racetrack, and he's going to try and get the slingshot down the backstretch, but Zupta comes up to block the number 39, and he's going to hold on to the lead. Going to turn 3 and 4, new leader, the 11. And now that brings Manjan underneath in the 27. He's going to take the second place position away from Metallic. Metallic's falling back under the 3rd position. Now he's under fire from the 9 of Elliott. He's going to come up really quick. He's going to try and sneak a move. No, he actually pushes up the racetrack, and that's going to allow the 10 of Terry Bombard to have a run on him. These drivers are starting to get a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, it seems like they're managing themselves real nicely. I expect them to be more like side by side, multiple rows deep every lap, but it seems like they're really managing themselves nicely, Anthony. Chris Elliott seems like he's the one who really wants to be making these moves. He keeps going to the inside, moving to the outside, a little bit higher up. Looks like he wants to go, and as he does that, he opened the door, and here comes the other drivers. And I think they're going to sell themselves out, but it looked like for a moment that Chris Elliott opened the door real wide. It looks like we're going to have a battle for second here.
Indeed, Metallic goes to the underneath side of Manjan. He's going to try and take the second place position back away from the 27, as back there it looked like Elliott got a little bit loose. He almost got run over, but he did not. He was able to hold it. Now, Metallic, a little bit of a move from the 39. It looked like that car was a little unhappy. These cars are not very settled when it comes to aerodynamics. They're very basic in that sense, but they're able to get some wicked top speeds, and they're really fun to chuck around through these turns, I'm imagining.
And it looks like they're still battling up there. I'm back here where Dante is at the moment, and where Dante's running 14th, and it seems like him and a few of the other guys are just managing themselves, but there seems to be like a little gap opening up in front of Zach Vermauer. And Zach, I think he just slid way up there. He did not get a good enter in that corner, and it looks like people are going to start going to the inside of Zach, and hopefully they're going to fall back in line back here. I believe this is for the 11th position on back, but there's a gap starting to form between them and the leaders. But it looks to me, Anthony, like as the race goes on, it looks like they're backing off a little bit more. And as they're backing off a little bit more, it's bringing this pack back in. So I'm wondering if tire wear is starting to come into play.
Yeah, this track seems like the kind of track that would do that. The banking is not really that prevalent. It's banking kind of, it's a little bit less than Las Vegas. We'll put it that way. It's not as severe as Las Vegas. You can still chuck it through the turns, but it's a little bit, it's going to eat away at the front right. I would imagine would be the one that gets hit the most with these turns. And we say that Elliott takes the 3rd position. He's been on a tear. He's now trying to get up to the leaders. He is right now trying to gap himself between Manjan, who's under fire from McClure, who's been on a tear. He's come up. He took the 5th position on the last lap. Now this lap he's trying to take the 4th, and he does take the 4th position. And now Manjan is going to fall into the clutches of Terry Bombard. And it looks like he's going to bring a whole host of cars with him.
Yep, and it looks like I don't know. I don't know what the pit window is. I'm hoping to get a word on that in a moment, all right, Anthony? So just give me a second. Let me find out what the pit window is here for this race.
The laps are ticking by very fast. I just looked down and we're on lap 17 now. Grant Wesley out of nowhere came up through the field and now he's running in the 6th position. He's just past Bombard, and we're also seeing some other drivers making their way up through the front. Robert Balcom in the number 018 is now running in the 8th position on a charge. He's trying to challenge for the 7th position. Terry Bombard is right there. And also back here, we have Dave Melson, who is taking the 9th position back away from the number 96 of Dave Robbins.
And just a quick update, Anthony. Dante just gave me a little bit of information. The fuel window for this pit stops are going to be between 34 to 38 laps. So we got to watch for that. We're coming on lap 18 right now at 134. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the pit road and make sure that people might short pit and do different strategy to try to get an advantage here.
Indeed, so that's a pretty big pit window, though. We should see them only on pit road maybe a maximum of 4 times. I think maybe 4 times before this race is over. Maybe someone will try to stretch it. Maybe make it a 3-stop race. We'll have to see, though. We have a long way to go. And we are working lap number 19 of 134. The lead is still Jeff Zupta. He is trying to pull a bit of an advantage, but not quite doing so. He's actually got a couple of car lengths behind him, and they're now battling Josh Metallic and Chris Elliott, who is trying to get to the 2nd place position. He's trying to work his way up there. Metallic looks like he got a little bit of the wall, but still going on. This race has been really close, and he's gonna take Chuck McClure all the way down to the yellow line, and that was about as aggressive as we've seen anybody right now. And the guy that's having the most fun is the leader out there. He's hoping that these drivers stay battling like this. He's gonna pull away.
I'm watching Dante back here a little bit. It seems like they're battling really hard up front for position, but the people back here, they look like they're just managing themselves nicely, like they're like for an almost Sunday drive. I mean, it's real early in this race, Anthony. So maybe that's their strategy back here, is to ride and let them start getting too aggressive, wear out their stuff, and let them catch back up with draft. And as it goes on, they'll have the advantage for the end. Maybe that's what they're aiming for, because we got a long way to go here. So some of the people that we normally would see up near the front, like Richard Martin in the 43, Bob Seminara in the 712, the 84 of Dante Ricky, they're all back here in the back just riding along. And maybe this might be strategy. What do you think?
It could be. I wouldn't want to be in the Hornets' nests up front, that's for sure. And with it being this early on in the race, you definitely don't want to use up your stuff, because you got to have it for the end of the race. So I think it's kind of a smart move. I mean, they're battling. Martin's just gone underneath the Seminara. So, I mean, they're still battling. It's still close. The competition hasn't gone away. It's just that they're trying to not use up your stuff. As you see that up here, there's a hornet's nest of cars, and Metallic has fallen so far back now. He's actually back towards the 7th and 8th position. Grant Wesley, on the other hand, has made his way up to the 2nd position. He's trying to run down the leader of Zupta. And he's right there. He could make a move if he wanted to. I think. Never mind. It was just an optical illusion. I thought the cars were slowing down, but they are not. Had to look at the speedometer to see if they actually were.
I'm looking also. Dante's going around a car right now. I believe that was Bob Seminary. He just passed, or either that or it was John Godfrey. They got similar looking schemes tonight. But you go back and look at the ticker right now. The ticker is showing that pretty much everybody is really within grasp of each other. Josh is in the 7th position. He's under a 2nd. Then you got Dave Robbins in 8th, all the way back to Andre Marchand in the 12th position. They're about a 1.5 to 2 seconds back. Richard Martin, Dante, and Bob Seminary are all about 4 seconds back. Terry Bauman, Godfrey, and Rivard, they're 6, almost 7 seconds back. Garrett, 7, almost 7.5 seconds back, and he was one of the transfer drivers. And then you have Andre Rome, Glenn Harris, and Bobby Farrell. They're all the way back. They lost touch with the field, so they're praying for a caution soon.
Indeed, they are. Battle for the lead is Grant Wesley underneath Azukta. He's going to take the lead, and I hit the wrong button. He's going to take the lead going out of turn 4. New leader is the 88. Looks like that he's going to pull about a car length advantage over the 11 car. They're still battling really hard, and I honestly, I mean, yeah, you got to do it. It's the All-Star race. You can't just, run around the track. You got to be aggressive. I'm surprised they've been able to keep it this clean thus far.
Yeah, with the way this track is and how it has a little bit of a fall off, and I'd be really sketchy running side by side and pinching, using up all that stuff on the bottom like they're doing. And a couple of these drivers trying to go high, but we've seen that when they go high, they start falling back real quickly. Anthony, I mean, look at Josh. Josh has lost so many positions from the start of this race. Right now, he's currently all the way back in 8th, 9th place right now.
Yeah, the outside line definitely does not work at this track. It's, being a flat track. If it's a more banked oval like we see in maybe Charlotte or Atlanta, you can maybe run the outside line and get away with it because eventually you're going to have the slingshot off of the turns. But here, with the track being this flat, the inside line is definitely the preferred line because you almost can't get a slingshot out of these turns. Now, if you're running right next to somebody, you could, and we have seen earlier that maybe Metallic was thinking about that when he was trying it out, but that would only be an attempt to get the lead at the line, and I don't think you would be able to sustain that for more than a lap and a half or so. If you look back here, the green car of Zach Firmau, he is, we were talking about him earlier as being the brightest car on the track, and he is now making his way up to the 8th position, still running in the 006.
Yeah, and it looks like I'm just really sad to see that Glenn Harris and Bobby Farrell, they're so far back right now. And Glenn Harris won segment 3, and Bobby Farrell, he was one of the picks to get in, and he actually was doing pretty good in the All-Star Open itself. And I mean, I have no idea what happened that caused these drivers to lose touch with the pack unless they really got out of shape. Like we see almost 3 wide right now with Godfrey, and it looked like that. Who is that next to him? That was a real close tight situation there. They got close to being 3 wide. Seminara was the loser on that, and he fell way back. I'm not sure if it's a strategy or if it's just that his car is not handling. I have no idea. But it seems like when you get hit on the high side, you go back and then you lose handling to your car badly. We've seen everyone go up to the high side. They lose handle. They go all the way to the back, and they just never seem to be able to get back in line to get themselves back up to the front. So that's a really tough shot for Bob Seminara. And we saw Seminara in the Open. He made a huge charge in segment 2, and he ended up winning the segment. And I'm just really surprised to see him way in the back here. But who knows? He might have that Open magic where he comes right back to the field later on. This might just be all strategy for Seminara. Seminara is a very accomplished driver, so it's amazing to see him way this far back. But who knows? He might get near the front and eventually toward the end of this run.
We're talking about Bobby Farrell a minute ago, and he is now being lapped by the leaders.
I do want to point out that it showed that Glenn Harris was pitting. I'm not sure if that was from before or not, but it looks like I don't know if this is actually them pitting now or not. I haven't gone through the field at Cycle Anthony, but it looks like you're on lap 32 now. So pit stops are coming for these drivers.
Harris is on pit road, as well as a couple of other drivers on pit road. I can't quite tell who they are. That is that's Seminara. Seminara came down pit road, and there was a third car. I thought maybe there was only 2. Yeah, it was Andre Rayum. He came down pit road as well. But Seminara was one of those drivers that came down pit road. You were just talking about him, how he was in a battle for position and almost went 3 wide. He came down pit road. I guess it was more or less to get out of the way of other drivers and maybe get into some clean air. Looks like Balcom is running in the 2nd place position. He's running very well tonight. He hasn't really, he came up through the field. He started a little bit towards the middle of the pack. He's now come up to be in the 2nd place position, and the pit window is open. So we should see some of these drivers come down pit road anytime now.
I wonder if the drivers that came down pit road, they're side by side for the lead up in front of Dante here.
Zach Fernau is now
looks like Dante's coming down. Dante comes in to pit road.
Yep. Dante Ricky in the Number 84 is on pit road. I think he is
You know,
not
I
alone.
wonder,
McClure's on pit road.
Anthony, I want to ask you something. What do you think here? Do you think they're coming down early to try to gain track position in the long term, or do you think that they're just handling so bad that they have to come down? No way that they can keep going. They have to.
Well, the leader just came down pit road, so maybe it is the handling. I think they could have gone a little longer on fuel, but the tires might have gone away. Because now we see most of the leaders come down pit road. Wesley is on, Zuta is on, and back here we have Terry Bombard. He's also on. And a lot of drivers behind them, including Metallic, Lucier, and Bobby Farrell, who was lapped, came down, and Frank Rivard, he's come down pit road as well. Here's some of the drivers that stayed out. Balcom stayed out. He's now coming down this lap in the 018, making his stop, and he's got a lot of drivers following him. One to be exact. Nelson is now on pit road as well as Andre Monjan and Chris Elliott. Oh, we've had a car hit the wall back here. I think that was Seminara. Drivers are slow, though. Something has happened. Dante Ricky is slow, and the yellow is out. So there's our first caution of the day. I don't think that Elliott made a stop. I think he just drove through the pits. That was a wicked fast stop.
I'm trying to find out where that is, and we have a whole bunch of cars that are a lap down based on that, so they're going to get the wave around. But these people who actually stayed out when the caution did come out, you know, they're lucky. They're able to come down on like the time that they need to come down. These other guys who get the wave around here, they're going to have to go get the wave around and start near the back of behind all these drivers that were actually near the back. Because I think the only person who was actually up near the front here might have been Robert Balcom, Zach from out, and I believe we saw Chris Elliott up near the front too. It looks like these guys are becoming down pit road now, but I wonder what brought the caution out. I didn't see who brought it out. Did you, Anthony?
I saw Seminara go up into the wall. I think he might have spun out of turn 4. That was the only thing that I saw it up the top of the screen. I don't really know if that was the case. We're going to follow Zach Fremont. I'm sorry. He was the only one that didn't pit. I don't know if the 9 actually pit. I think he just drove through. There's the 43. I wonder if he was involved. We're going to quickly take a look and see what happened, because we got a big mess to sort out, and we only have a few pace laps to do it. So let's go find out. I know for a fact that the number 712 of Seminara was involved. At least I saw him slow out of 4. So we're going to go see what happened here. You hearing anything on the radio, Jess?
I don't hear nothing coming over on. I don't hear anything on the admin control or anything, so I don't know.
Oh, I actually see what happened. It actually did not even start with Seminara. Seminara was caught up in something. All right, so we're going to take a look and see what happened here. So we're under replay. Richard Martin, I think, was trying to come down pit road. And as he was doing that, he slowed down a lot. And then John Godfrey came in, didn't quite know what was going on. And I think Martin may have came down. Yeah, he did. Martin tried to come down to pit road, and Godfrey didn't realize what he was doing and just ran into the 43. And those two went up. Look at the 77 with a Dodge. I think he got away with that. That's amazing. And then Seminara came in and tagged the 43. Oh, and Dante Ricky was also involved. I did see him up in the wall as well, and he was slow. Those two drivers didn't quite get slowed down in enough time, and they both went up and slapped the wall. That's hard luck for the for Seminara and Ricky. Also, hard luck for Richard Martin, who was trying to get on pit road and didn't quite realize who was coming up behind him. Don Godfrey ended up getting into him in the 7-Eleven. But we got to give some major props to Donnie Garrett. That was some mad piece of driving in order to miss that.
Well, he did do a really good job avoiding a wreck in the All-Star Open, which eventually led him to being able to, hold himself up near the front to be able to capitalize on an incident that happened toward the end of that to actually get into this main event. So it's well deserved that he got in here based on his avoiding skills on the Open itself, and then we see why he's in here is basically he was able to avoid that to be able to put himself in prime position again. But here's what I'm curious about, Anthony. These drivers are all on the bottom of this racetrack, and we have lucky dog rules. We have wave arounds, I believe. Some of these drivers getting the wave around. Some of these guys being the two top cars get lucky dog that are a lap down. Now I'm curious here. Do you think it was enough damage on drivers like Dante to hinder him? You think? And because you remember, it's realistic damage here.
Seminara, definitely. He hit the wall a ton. I wouldn't expect that car to be up to speed at all. Ricky maybe would get away with it. He kind of slowed down a little bit, but I think he was going too fast to really
I don't see
have
a
anything
lot of
happen.
damage on the 43 of Richard Martin.
The thing is that it was mostly nose damage, and even if a little bit would hinder you in the aero department. This track is very aero heavy. That might be a factor. But Seminara, that car was probably the most damaged. Richard Martin also was probably one of the more damaged
Well,
cars in that exchange.
I can tell you that there have been times in realistic damage, though, Anthony, where I've hit the wall and it doesn't say anything. I've been hit in the front as well, on the front nose as well, and I've not had any issues or anything for repair. And then later on, I'll get like a small lighter tap and it will say repair. So it gets a little bit kind of suspicious with the repair damage. So we'll have to keep an eye on and see how damaged these drivers are. As it looks like the caution lights are out, that we're about to go back to green, it looks like.
And Zach Freemau is your leader. I thought Balcom was the leader. It's actually Zach Freemau, in the 006 is the leader. In second place is going to be Donnie Garrett in the 77. This is
and
really
a lot
interesting.
of drivers are down a lap. This is going to be interesting.
Well, there's a lot of drivers on the tail end of the lead lap also. Oh, wait.
Oh, we're not going green.
No, we're not. Okay, I know what they're doing. They're letting those drivers cycle around under green flag.
Yeah,
So they can get to the back.
this was a thing that was brought up a while back on a short track that we visited. We visited North Wilkesboro one time, and it was suggested that if there was a lot of cars that were trapped a lap down, making pit stops and whatnot, wave rounds, etc., during a caution, when the caution did come out during the cycle, that they might do something like this where they'll keep themselves in pace, and when it comes to the green flag, they'll do one more pace lap around until they get themselves sorted and caught back up. So it looks like that's what they're doing.
Indeed, so they are doubling up in front, and it looks like that those drivers that were caught in front of the pace car will be catching back up. So
Richard Martin's up here on the high side. I'm quite unsure about what's going on, but he's strapped a lap down.
he's 16th. He is definitely a lap down, but he will be starting high side of the leader, Zach Freemau, who really got the better end of that deal. The caution came out perfect timing for him. Behind him is going to be Donnie Garrett, who had that major avoidance of that wreck. He is now running in the second place position because of it. Chris Elliott up to third. Andre Rayum is running in the 17th, a lap down, and then John Godfrey is fourth in the 7-11. He was also involved in that incident. We'll have to see what happens. We know that Zach Freemau is not damaged, and he had a really interesting start. He kind of held up the field a little bit, but now we're running again. Zach Freemau going into turn one. He's actually got a bit of an advantage over Donnie Garrett in the 77. This has changed everything.
Yeah, it looks like Richard Martin's going to be able to cycle third in line to try to make sure he's up near the front to get that free lucky dog pass, but only time we'll see how damaged he is. But, I mean, talk about a good start of that. Zach jumped right out there, but Donnie Garrett didn't let him get too far away.
Indeed so, and you were talking about how Richard Martin would be after that incident. He is actually keeping up with this field, so I think he might be okay to run the rest of this race. We have to see about the other two or the other three drivers that were involved.
Going back here where Robert Balcom is, they're side by side all over the place back here, trying to gain positions. It looks like that pit stop, real wrenching thing. It looks like they're really trying to make themselves organized to get positioned right now. As they're battling again up near the front here. I don't understand why they're pushing it so hard, but then again, maybe they're pushing it hard to try to get that track position because we just saw what happened a moment ago. As we see, there was a driver that got really high up there. That was the 712 of Bob Seminara, who seems to be outpaced just a tad bit. I don't know how much damage he has, but it seems like he's still somewhat with this pack.
Seminara might have been able to repair some of that damage on pit road. He was able to get that done. However, he is running in the
Elliott making a
20th
move on
position.
Zach Freemouth for second as Donnie Garrett has the lead right now.
Fremont got the wall coming out of 4 the last lap and allowed Donnie Garrett to kind of scoot on by him, and now Elliott gets the wall.
Hits the wall off the corner. 3 wide for second.
Well, no, it's 3 wide, but it's not completely for second as Rayum is a lap down.
It looks like Rayum's okay though.
Yeah, Rayum is all right. He's running very fast laps. Richard Martin is running really fast laps. These drivers are pushing up the track more than I've ever seen them do. I don't know why they're doing it.
I'm guessing they're really trying to go, thinking they might get a quick caution.
That's true. This is the most bunched the field has been since the start of the race. So they might be trying to capitalize on if someone makes a mistake, they'll have another caution come out and be able to come down pit road. I don't know if Chris Elliott actually made a stop. I never really went and saw because he went through, he came down pit road. I was on him on camera. The incident happened, and then as soon as I got done looking at it, he was coming out of pit road. So I don't know if he actually took service or not.
I didn't hear anything from race control or anything in the chat box regarding Chris Elliott, so I guess he came back down and made a stop. I'm not really sure if they allowed it to go.
Right now he's got some blinking issues.
A little bit side by side in front of Chuck McClure.
Ooh.
That would be for the 10th and 9th position. Dave Nelson and Josh Metallic battling side by side. As it looks like, whoa, someone got really high up there coming off the corner.
It's Wesley.
And Wesley's going to drop. He got to that high side, and now it looks like everyone's going to capitalize and go on that bottom and just try to pass Wesley.
Whoa, it was a car on the wall.
Caution is out.
I don't know who that was. It was a purple car. It was Chris Elliott. Problems for the 9 car. He looked like he blinked. Maybe he got neck coated. Tough break for the 9 car.
And the race back will be won by the 77 of Donnie Garrett. And I gotta tell you, guess what that does? Guess what that does? That brings back Richard Martin and Andre Rayum, who was a lap down. That brings them back up to the actual pack once again. So that's a good thing that they tried to be as aggressive as they were. Like we talked about. We talked about how they might be pushing themselves so much to stay up near the front in case a caution came out. And caution came out. Unfortunate for Chris Elliott, but very, very lucky break for Richard Martin and Andre Rayum.
Indeed so. It looks like Garrett and Freeman are going to come down pit road. That is a huge break for them, and you got to think that they're super excited that they're back into this race. They got that lucky yellow that was coming out. Now that they've made this, now that the cautions come out, this stage in the race,
Chris Elliott is officially out of the race now.
Yeah, his car was smoking. He hit the wall super hard. We're gonna go back and look at that as soon as these pit stops are done. Looks like that the battle off pit road is going to be won by Dante Ricky. And here comes Monjean. Dave Melson is going to come off in second place.
Well, remember, Dante is a lap down currently.
True. Donnie Garrett's going to come off. Jeff Zupa is coming off. Godfrey is off. There's been some shakeup in the standings from this last pit stop. We're going to quickly go take a look and see what happened. Dante Ricky was the one who came off pit road first. We're going to go see what happened to bring out this latest caution. It was the number 9 of Chris Elliott, who has officially retired from the race, as Jessica mentioned. You hear anything in the chat room, Jess? What are the drivers saying?
I'm looking at the chat box. The only thing that's popped up right now is that there is an EOLL in the longest line for this 006 car was from out. He must have been caught speeding on pit road or something with him. So he's going to have to drop to the tail end. But besides that, I haven't heard anything at all yet.
We're about to find out what happened to the 9 car. It's actually really hard to tell what happened to the 9 car because you can't see the 9 car. We're actually going to start the replay now and show you what we're talking about. So this is the 9 car. We're going to play this in real time. He is having some major issues with his connection because we're on him right now. This is when he was running, and then all of a sudden he's in the wall. So what I'm thinking is that he had something happen where his car was just his connection was so bad that he ended up getting into somebody without him knowing and just shot him up into the wall because you'll notice right around here he's invisible, and right around
That's one of those
here.
like netcode warp issues where the connection's not that say what that last second they warp in and warp out and there's like a little bit of a twitch and that's all it takes, Anthony.
The last time that we were able to see where his position was on the racetrack, we've paused it now. The last time we were able to see his position on the racetrack, he was actually running on the front stretch. So that's the best we can do. That's all we can tell. It was something netcode related. And that's a shame too. He was running really well.
Donnie Garrett's coming back down the pit road. But I do want to point out something. I'm not sure if you were here were you broadcasting the Super Speedway race that we had on Monday with me? Or I believe it was Monday where Grant Wesley ended up winning the championship and Tim Nosker won the race. Remember? I'm not sure if you were with me on that or if that was Carlos.
I believe, yeah, I was with you for that race. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember there was one point on the backstretch where I actually it might not have been. I mean, it might not have been. We've seen how warp can lightly just even if it's like netcode. You remember the very beginning of that race how there was a little netcode issue at that point, and we had that one almost wreck. I think we either had a wreck or there was a caution that may not have triggered a caution at the beginning because they saved it. But when you warp, it's so hard to even control, even when the car gets back out in front of you. I mean, there's nothing that you can do when you warp except for try to get out of the way if you knew you were warping, which I think Chris Elliott did know he was warping. And honestly, it's just an unfortunate deal sometimes that we just can't expect anything when that happens, Anthony. It just happens, and we just have to pack it up. And at least it's a fun race and not a points race. So we'll see Chris Elliott back next week without a problem, I'm sure.
Indeed. So Chris Elliott is a shame for him, and you hate to have your driver go out because of that reason. We are still not green. And I think that they're still doing what we thought they were going to do. I'm just waiting to see. They said that they were going to do something for this, and we're waiting to see if they're doing it. They are doing it. We haven't not gone back green.
They are inverting the field. There's the little wrench. We just got informed that they are inverting the field, ladies and gentlemen. So the top 16, from what I understand, are going to the back, and this is going to pretty much sum everything up and switch this whole thing around. And guess what? Hey, Anthony, everybody except for Terry Ballman is on the lead lap now.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. And now these drivers are coming back down pit road. In case you don't know what's happening, Jessica, would you like to tell them, or do you want me to tell them?
Pretty much what they're going to do here is they're going to come down pit road and park it, and they're going to invert this top 16 to the back. So everyone that's from the back will go to the front. They're just doing the 16 only here. And we've got 21 drivers out here right now, 20 on the lead lap. So what they're going to do is they're going to switch up the running order just a little bit. This is one of the little all-star incentives that happen every so often. We never know when it's going to happen. We don't even know if it will happen. It's pretty much admin/owner's discretion at doing this, which throws a wrench into it, makes it more exciting. And now we'll see new players up near the front, I believe, that we didn't even see before. So this is going to be really interesting when we get back to green, Anthony.
Indeed, it will. They're going to do this on lap 50, but we had an incident with Chris Elliott that brought the caution out that took the yellow period over lap 50. The reason why they're going to do this at lap 50, it is their 50th season, so lap 50. And is where we're going to have our competition yellow. And as Jessica mentioned, field completely inverted, which puts Andre Rayum at the point.
Or it should. I mean, we saw Donnie Garrett come down to pit. Maybe that was strategy. Maybe he assumed that something was going to happen, so he took advantage of that and came down to pit. What do you think?
That might have been. I mean, I don't think that the rules
I mean,
state that you
The thing is, he pit before this inversion happened, and due to him taking that risk to come back down pit road, I don't know if he had a little bit of incentive or an idea that this might happen, but nonetheless, whatever happened. He's back up near the front now, so he got real lucky with this one.
Indeed so. Here's how they're lining up so far. We have Donnie Garrett, Andre Rayum. That's row 1. Row 2 is going to be Zach Freemow, who we thought was going to get messed up by the pit road or by the late caution. Turns out it's back up at the front. Someone who was also kind of glad to see that come out is Chuck McClure. He was running at the back of the pack for a while. He's now up into
And get this. We heard him talk about it earlier, but look who's up in 5th right now, or 6th, one way or the other. Next row, the 96 of Dave Robbins sitting there. So, hey, you never know. I mean, the All-Star Open was very spectacular. We saw people that we normally don't really see run up really tall. Like, I mean, they're really good drivers. Don't get me wrong. They just always have misfortunes. And we saw Glenn Harris take it. That was a real unexpected win for him. Harry Baum was running up near the front half the time. Andre Marjan, the past couple weeks, he's been up near the front as well. And now we got Dave Robbins up here. I mean, think about this, Anthony. The people that we didn't expect to see up here are up here now.
Indeed so. We have a lot of new faces up in the top 5. This is going to be one heck of a restart.
Harry Bombard, Balcom and Wesley, they have not been able to break up near the front and pull away like we've seen them in the past do. So they've been really struggling and trying to work themselves to get up there. So they're back in the mid-pack for it again. So this ought to be really interesting to see if they can make their way up to the front now as well. I mean, they were working on it, but they just couldn't get up there. And now they're back in the mid-pack anyway. So they really got no way that they can do. They have to figure out something to go. And behind them, we got the one of the transfer drivers from segment 3, John Godfrey. He's back here. And it looks like they're going to get rolling now, Anthony.
The field has been completely inverted. We're getting ready to essentially reset the race and get ready for our, it's not really halfway, but our adopted second half. Yeah, our adopted second half of the race.
Our RTG Open.
Our
RTG All-Star. Good job, Anthony.
RTG. I've been watching a lot of 80s commercials. Recently.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say this based on what you just said. I'm going to have a nice little discussion with Seth about the Scooby-Doo issue. Now we're going to have to talk about you being a walrus or a seal.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're about to go green, aren't we? I think it looks like we're going green in a moment here.
I think this is it. I think we're going to go green on lap 54. Our restart's going to happen with a lot of laps to go. My math is failing me, and I don't quite know how many laps to go exactly, but we're going to get ready to go. I believe that Andre Rayum is the leader. He's adopted the outside line, as we're going to wave off the start. Okay, nope, we're going now. All right, they win at the line. So Andre Rayum gets us underway. It looks like he's going to try and get in front of the 77 of Garrett. And
I do want to point out that everyone is on the lead lap. Terry Baum has got his lap back. So everyone's back on the lead lap, fresh, starting over. With different players up in the front now. So I just want to throw that out there that everyone is on the lead lap.
And Garrett was one of those that was up at the second place. He was the one who missed that incident that involved a lot of drivers. So kind of great to see him up at the front.
And he was near the front before they got caution, and then he decided to randomly come back down with Zach Freemow. And Zach Freemow said he had an EOLL, and right when he had the EOL, this pretty much saved him. He went to the back along with Donnie, and they came into pit. The caution came out. They surprise inverted the top 16, the 16 drivers, and look what happened. They're up near the front again.
Somebody who we have not seen in the top half of the field this entire night, and now is Frank Rivard in the number 35. He was running a long ways back before all these cautions and the shakeup happened. So now he's running in the 5th position, doing really well too, able to hold that 5th position. So we should be able to see what he can do and see if he can get to the front of the field.
Yeah, and then back here where Richard Martin is, Dave Mellison, they're battling side by side. John Godfrey. We also have another battle going on with Jeff Soup and the Tony Fox Skull Special, trying to get underneath Dave Robbins here, and it's like they're starting to really pick up the racing now. They're side by side, multiple rows here and there. They're scattered, but it seems like they're becoming a little bit more aggressive, Anthony. They're making more moves quickly than what they did last time.
For a lot of these drivers, it's the first time that they've been this close to the lead, so they're going to see if they can have a chance to get up to the lead and see if they can stay there. And these drivers, they were running the back. Not all of them were running at the back on their own choice, mind you. Some of them were running at the back because of strategy, or maybe they were just trying to stay away from the pack of cars, trying to stay out of trouble.
Here comes Chuck McClure underneath Donnie Garrett for second place. As Zach's trying to pull away.
Indeed, so he's going to look like he's going to
they
get that
are side by side back here, and I'm hoping they don't push up, because what I'm looking at is we've seen it this whole time, that when they come off of that corner, they go really high up and they end up slapping the wall a little bit. So I'm hoping that they're able to stay on the bottom here and not slide up and touch that high side, because like we said, realistic damage. You never know. If they had a little bit of damage earlier and they tapped that wall, it's pretty much going to show that they've got damage again.
Indeed so. And we also have to bear in mind that there is still realistic damage, so if they end up getting into the wall too many times, it could knock something loose and maybe make their car undrivable in the middle of the turns.
Well, like I said, like I've done before, I've had damage. I've come in and I fixed the damage, and I'm all good. I'm able to stay up the speed and everything else, and then I'll have a small hit that's even lighter than what I had that shouldn't even be damaged, even remotely damaged at all on the thing, and it'll say that I'm really damaged, I'm really out of it. And sometimes these people lightly hit the wall and it doesn't say repair any damage, and then they'll get a lighter hit from someone or hit something just very lightly, and all of a sudden the damage repair is there. So you never know with how the physics are. I mean, they could have damage, they could have a little bit of damage, they could actually have no damage registered, but all it takes is one little tap and that's it.
Indeed so, and you also run the risk of on pit road if you have some damage you need to repair, and if you have some substantial damage, you don't want to spend all that time on pit road or any extra time that it might take to repair that damage. You also have that's one of the biggest things that have lost races for some of these drivers, is that they have to repair damage that takes longer than the 4 tires pit cycle to actually happen. So,
Anthony, I'm noticing they're getting a little bit more racy back here. They're running the middle line in these corners a little bit more often, and they're getting a little bit more aggressive mid-pack on back.
Gupta almost went up and smacked the wall. He was trying to get around Ronald Luzier, who we haven't seen at the front of the field very often, and now he's back here. And this inversion of the field has really brought some people back into the fray, and it's actually kind of cool to see some of these drivers race each other now.
Richard Martin's really giving Andre Mongeon a run for his money right behind the 13 of Dave Nelson.
He is. He's running in the 15th, trying to take 14th from Mongeon.
Almost pushed up into him there. He got really tight on that bottom and almost pushed right up into his quarter panel. They're running side by side so tightly, several rows deep. So, and we see him from his point of view up front as well. They're still running side by side ahead of him too.
Yeah, Richard Martin was using the bump and run strat, and it was almost too much. Up here, Metallic is coming back to the field. He's right now, I believe, taking the 11th position. I think, yeah, he just took the 11th position.
Andre Reagan was about to lose a position to Ron Luzier.
And by extent, that might also be Metallic that's going to take a position away from him, as he's now to the inside.
These drivers got to be really careful off these corners, because it looks like it pushes up really badly, not just for the inside, but the high side. So if that high side, you're way out of the groove, and you hit that wall and you come back down, I mean, they got to make sure that they realize who's underneath them, and the drivers behind them and underneath them got to realize, okay, well, they might hit the wall, I got to give them more room. But it's hard to give someone room when it pushes up like that unexpectedly, because of how much this wear is, how much the grip is, and how everything's pushing this race going on, and they're trying so hard to get position that they're not really focused on, oh, okay, well, I need to really back off here. They're trying to go to get these positions, as we see positions changing up near the front now.
So we're going to go back to the front. It looks like our longtime leader, Freemow, is going to fall under fire from Chuck McClure in the 17. He's going to take the lead, and he's going to bring Baucom and that is the 10 of Terry Bombard. He's going to bring them up through the
And it's
field with
good.
him.
It's good that we haven't seen Bombard near the front, and look, all of a sudden here's Bombard up near the front battling, and he's gonna bring. Oh goodness gracious, he's gonna bring Grant Wesley with him. So we were talking about Balcom and Wesley being mid-pack most of this race, not being able to actually go up front and pull away, and here they are. They're back up in the top 5 now.
Indeed, they are. Wesley has made an almighty charge through the field. He's trying to get back within the top 3. He's one position away from doing it, and the loser in all of this is going to be Zach Freeman, who got stuck on the high side, and there's no way that he's able to keep speed up there.
Bobby Farrell currently being the last car on the lap. He's about to go into turn 3 right now, so it'll be a few laps, but these leaders are starting to reel in the back half of the field.
And I also want to make a point. Seminara, we thought that his car was going to be way off the pace, and it is. He's actually running back here with the 43. That car is not feeling the greatest, I'm sure, and he's probably trying to fight it away around this track, but he's still going, so never quit. And he's probably hoping that maybe a caution will come out. Maybe as much as you hate to see it, maybe take some drivers out to leapfrog and get some more positions out of it. But still going is the 712 of Seminara. And then, like I said, Bobby Farrell running in the 21st position, the last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, right now, so far, Anthony, they're able to manage themselves nicely. They're racing really aggressive. They've raced more aggressive this time by than they ever have before. Like you said, it's probably because they've got people up near the front that was inverted in from the lap 50 caution that we had. And, I mean, it's good to see that it's inverted people like Chuck up there. And Robert's taking the lead now. And I'm sure that Grant's going to try to follow through here based on them getting kicked up to the high side. I'm really more concerned about if we keep going green, our next round of pit stops will be around probably what do you think, Anthony? About we pit lap 54, lap 55-ish. Should be about lap 85 roughly, you think?
Well, they actually didn't pit around that time. They came down pit road and sat there. No one was able to take service except for that one car.
Yeah, but I'm talking about they pit around lap 51, didn't they? Before they had the caution thrown.
We were about to go green on. We went green, air quotes, on lap 51. They actually pit somewhere around lap 49, 50, because that's when the caution came out. So 51, the latest for some of these drivers. So they made it to 38, or basically 32 laps for some of the drivers that we saw coming down earlier on in the race as well. As McClure got way squirrely. He's going to bring in the 6. He's going to easily take the position away. And they're going to go 3 wide. Perhaps this is a bad situation. It looks like they're going to get out of it. That was almost a 3 wide going to turn 1. That would have been mega bad for the guy on the outside. But to your point, it might be around, we'll say lap 50 for easy math. It'll be around lap 80, 83 maybe when they come down pit road next. Maybe they'll pit a little earlier than that.
You know, we haven't played this game at all this time, Anthony, so I'm going to ask you, who do you think is going to win the race itself? Let's take driver's picks.
I don't know. At this point, it could be anybody. There's a few contenders up here that have shown strength.
Come on. Well, let's jinx some people. Pick one. I'll let you have the first pick.
Whoa, there goes Wesley to the inside. He was right up on the back end of Balcom. He's going to take the lead away going out of 4. But I guess if I was to pick one out of the mix so far, as I think we have people coming on pit road, I think it would probably, as much as I want it to have, I think Zach Freeman might pull something out of this. He's shown consistent speed. He hasn't really left this top group, and he is running very fast laps. I would expect to see him towards the front of this field by the end of the race. And I have a feeling, I think I know who yours would be.
All right, who? Take a guess, who?
He's leading right now.
No, I don't want him. I want him to lose. That's why I'm not going to pick him.
All right, well, who do you think is going to win the race?
Well, I would love to see as much as I'd love to see Jeff Zupta win this race on the Tony Fox tribute. I'd love to see him pull that off and get some, glory and airtime for that, especially when it being the All-Star race itself. I'd love to see that 11 in victory lane. But But if I have to take the randomness here outside of him, outside of Supta, and I mean, like I'm saying, Supta, I really want him to win based on the tribute that he's driving for Tony Fox. I honestly think I'm going to say this because I want to see what happens. I would love to see Chuck McClure pull it off.
Chuck McClure, huh?
I know better than to pick Robert because I know every time I pick Robert he gets jinxed by me, so I'm not going to do that. And as far as Grant is, I hope he loses. That's why I'm not picking him. He wins too much as it is.
A little commentator's curse might go a long way. McClure running the 17 Scooby-Doo car, which is probably the most
And that's
car.
ironic based on what we were talking about before we went on air, huh?
Very. Josh Metallic going underneath the brightest car on the field right now. That would be to the 5th position, I think. That would be 5th. Keep saying it. This is probably the brightest car on the whole track. Is Zach Freeman. You can see him coming everywhere. In the number 006 or the OG6 as it is on the side of the car. Down to the inside goes Jeff Zupta up to the trying to challenge for the 3rd position. There were a few drivers that came down pit road that were off schedule. Glenn Harris was one of them in the 08, and Dante Ricky, this is the 2nd time I think he's come down pit road.
No, it's probably an EOL penalty. I'll confer real quick.
There was another one. It was a blue car. It was... Where did he go? Did he retire?
Dante said it was not a penalty. He's good.
We're missing a car.
Well,
we're missing River.
No, hey. Frank River, he retired.
Okay, I saw that car on pit road. That's the car that we were missing. Do you have any word on why you retired? Was it mechanical or
well,
something else?
I'll tell you in a second. Well, let me ask.
Something happened to Frank Rivard in the blue machine, and can't quite remember what number that car was. Robert Balcom is running in the 2nd position, still trying to chase down Wesley in the 88. Now it looks like Zupta's going to try something on the outside line. We haven't seen this before, and I don't think it's going to work. It might work, though. He's going to try it. Well, he's keeping it. Jeff Zupta on the outside line is going to take the 2nd position momentarily. Now, if that was a run to the finish, then he could have done that.
Now, I just got word back from Dante that it was asked about Frank what caused him to retire, and he said that he got no answer back from him. So who knows? There's no answer.
And as we heard about Frank, we just saw a successful pass on the outside line. Jeff Zupta, it took him an entire lap to do it, but Jeff Zupta just passed Robert Balcom on the outside line. I don't know if that car is slow or maybe the tires are just worn off to the point. 3 wide now for the 3rd place position. Balcom on the outside, Bombard on the inside. They're going to settle it out before they get to turn 1. That could have been disastrous. And Zupta's
okay,
on
I was conferring with Dante over an issue that happened a little earlier, but everything seems to be good. I mean, I don't know. Zupta's up to 2nd. I mean, do you think that he can hold off that charging of Robert Balcom? Because Robert's right behind him. It's not going to take long before Robert starts pushing to get up there. I mean, I'd love to see Zupta get this lead here, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do it.
Well, Zupta's the fastest car on the track right now. He's just blown by the 88 of Wesley. He is on a charge, and he was able to pass Balcom on the outside. Balcom has fallen a long ways back. Now it looks like Wesley's pushing Zupta down the back straight. But I would say, by and large, right now, the 11 car is the fastest car on the track. I don't know if he's just been able to manage his tires.
Oh, Andre Maggion bumps the 17 of Chuck McClure. Chuck McClure's around back here. Nope. Yep, there's the caution. Caution just came out for that.
Well, that was one of our front runners, too, and I was trying to find out who was at the back of the pack. Like you said, McClure goes around. Ooh, he almost took out, I believe that was Rayum that came back around. We're under yellow again, so now we were about ready to get into the pit window too, so you know for sure that these drivers are going to come down. But wow, tough break for Chuck McClure. That was that was your pick to win, and I think you jinxed him.
They're all undoubtedly going to come down the pit road to top off, I'm sure. So what do you think regarding that? You think it was just a little bit too aggressive with Andre that when he bumped Chuck, or what? Because I was right there on Chuck. I was about to start talking about him, and then I saw Andre just barely getting the back of him. So I don't know what you think about that, Anthony, on your end.
Well, I didn't see it happen, so I'm gonna have to go back and look at it. We're gonna monitor this pit reaction and see if anybody decides to take an alternate strategy. I don't think at this stage in the race you really could. It's gonna be a fuel race, though. It's gonna be. I mean, you're gonna have to come down at least one more time. The pit window is again 33 to 38 laps. And I think tires wear off a little bit before that. And this being lap 84, they're going to take it all the way down to lap 25, lap 26 before they're able to before the pit window is open again, which only gives us 5 laps to go. So barring another caution, this could be a fuel strategy race. We're going to quickly go and take a look and see what happened to bring out this latest caution. You got to think that maybe it might have just been too much aggression. Maybe a racing incident. We'll have to go back and look as we're getting back to the moment where it happened.
Well, it looked to me like it looked like Chuck was trying to take the corner more careful. It looked like Andre was trying not to get past, and he kind of got a little bit too aggressive trying to get back in line right behind Chuck. And it looked like when he did that, he hit the gas at the wrong time, and he ended up hitting the back end of Chuck. And I'm guessing it was a buffer grab or something, but I don't think it was intentional whatsoever. But it just looked like it was too aggressive racing.
We're looking at it right now. He's currently the meat in a sandwich of teammates right now, or at least cars running the same paint schemes. And yeah, I think he just got a little bit into him. I don't think that there was really an intent. He looked like he slowed up a lot. I don't know. They were just running super close to each other. I think it might have been maybe a little bit of bumper grab, like you said. Yeah, he just goes up into the wall and he is a little tap. I think he was able to slow it down enough before he actually really did a lot of damage. So he might be able to get away with that, but pretty much a one car incident. We'll have to see if he's okay afterwards. That's what brought us under this latest caution. We'll now come back to our live image. And I forgot to mention, it was where is he? There he is. It was the 27 of Andre Marjan that got into him, as you said. Him and Donnie Garrett running identical schemes tonight. Easy to figure out which of those two cars are which. Or it's hard to figure out which of those two cars are which. Bobby Farrell is actually running in the 20th position. I don't think he's a lap down. I think he's also on the tail end of the lead lap, and he should get a wave around. His lights are off. Yeah, he's going to get a wave around. A lot of these drivers are getting a wave around. So your leader is going to be the 39 of Josh Patalik. He got a wicked fast pit stop, and he's going to be your leader. Followed by the second place car of Jeff Zupta is starting to his outside. Then we have Grant Wesley, Zach Freeman running back here in the 4th position now, and then Robert Balcom will make up the top 5. Jessica, fuel strategy. This is kind of what we're looking at, barring another caution. What do you think? Do you think these drivers can make it on fuel, or do you think the tires will give out before that?
Oh, well, I'm looking at them pitting right now, right? So they pit around 86. They're still going to have to make one more stop. So I think they could stretch the fuel window all the way out if they manage themselves nicely. Like if they don't get too aggressive like we've been seeing on these restarts, if they get out to a good, position and they just sit there and ride, they might actually have a chance to save enough tires to make it on that one more stop without having to pit early. But we'll find out how the strategy goes, because we're about to go back to green.
Metallic is going to get a bump from the 88 as they get back underway. Metallic didn't quite get going, but Wesley did, and he's going to get a shot down the front
And
straight.
this is the first time we've seen Josh up here since the start of this race, because he had the pole position, remember? And he dropped like a fly when he got kicked on that high side, so we're going to see if he can actually hold it. They are battling side by side, several rows deep back here.
Dupta is going to make an attempt on Metallic. He's going to go to the inside. No, it looks
Zach Freeman trying to make a move.
like Freebound's going to make a move also.
And he gets put up to the high side. That's going to open the door for underneath. Nope, he's going to come back down and close it. Back here, Chuck McClure is passing a couple of cars. He's eager to get back up near the front. Richard Martin, who, remember, he was down early on. He's back up here. He's currently running in the 8th position, right behind Dave Melson. He's trying to make a move on the high side, which I don't think that's going to work too well for him unless Melson's having a little bit in. It looks like Martin's going to pull alongside. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the position here, but Martin's really trying to make that high side work on the high side of Dave Melson in the 13.
I don't think with fresh tires for everybody that they're able to make that work. We only saw Zupta be able to do it because it was late in a run. It was about ready to be the fuel window, and he had slightly fresher tires. I think he was better at managing tires than everyone else was, and he was able to make it work.
Yeah, but have you noticed this though? I'm watching Zach Bramall. If every time he gets behind these drivers going in turn 1, he swings high, and everyone behind him is able to go in lower. I mean, it's like a tail end effect or like a rope. You know, when you go in, everyone goes in, that high side kicks out, and they all start sliding up. And then the people who have a little gap, like Robert Balcom, are able to hold it a little bit lower for another line to go down lower than what they're running. So all that movement that they're doing in these corners, so that like little whip on the high side of these little groove areas of pushing it too hard, that's allowing Robert Balcom, Ron Luzier, and even Richard Martin to close back up into this group because they're swinging it so high that they're really trying to charge it in. We saw Grant Wesley try to make a move a moment ago, and he's trying for second now over Jeff Supta. But I know Jeff Supta's the lead now, or I can't really see back there. I'm sorry. Is that Jeff Supta that he's trying to make a move on? It is. Okay, I thought Supta actually got back out in the lead. I'm looking at the back end here, Anthony, and you got a red car and an orange car, and the orange car looks a little bit red, so that's my apologies on that. And it looks like Zach's going to give a little bump to Grant to try to get him past Supta. But what I'm trying to get at, Anthony, is with them running this aggressive, I mean, who's it actually hurting? Is it actually hurting them, or is it actually benefiting them to get in position?
Well, if they're trying to stretch it on fuel, which I don't think they would, then it's gonna hurt them. But if they think that they can't make it and it doesn't matter, they're gonna have to make a stop anyway, then yeah, absolutely, run aggressive. It's the All-Star race. You can't.
Well, they're gonna have to
afford
make
wait.
one more stop too. Like we said, they've been pitting around lap 31, right? But we know that the window is 34 to 38 from what we were told.
Right.
So
It's
with
still
34
30
to
laps. That's still 30 laps, and I was wondering if somebody would maybe try to go the entire way without another stop. I don't think
No,
it's realistic.
they're going to have to make one more physics. So we went back to green around 85. So you do the math, 85, 95, that's 10, plus you get the 34 that's already there. You know, that's already 44, not to mention the other 10 extra from 94 to 104, you know? So give or take, that's going to be close to... Yeah, it's going to go right there. They're going to have to pit one more time, regardless.
The thing is, I don't know if they were pitting for fuel or if they were pitting for tires, because these tires seem to fall off really quick. And if they were within the fuel window, how much fuel do they actually have? Could they actually go further than what we've been seeing them do? And maybe someone would try to conserve the tires.
What I would be wondering, Anthony, is as we see Grant Wesley trying to make a move under the 11 of Jeff Supta's still. Supta seems to be holding it really strong on that high side right now, Anthony. But thinking about this, they made contact.
Yeah, the track got squeezed right there out of the tri-oval, and one
Grant
went up,
West's
one
gonna
came
take advantage
down.
of that.
That could have been really bad. That was at the front of the field. That could have swallowed up a lot of drivers.
Oh, Super's going to make a crossover. He's going to look for the inside of Wesley. They're going to go back in the line, just right along with him for right now. But going back to what we were talking about with pitch strategy here, what I'm wondering is, you're talking about fuel and all. As Robert Balcom takes a peek underneath the 006 of Zach Vermel, Robert Balcom's starting to make his presence felt now as he wants to look on the end to try to gain a run here on the 11 of Jeff Soup. It looks like Melton's going to make a move underneath the 006 as well. Anthony, if we have that last stop, right? I'm wondering if they're able to take a can and a half versus 2 cans. I'm wondering if they're going to play some like short pitting strategy or not.
I don't know if you risk
about when
that.
they come in.
I don't know if you risk that. The tires seem to have a major fall off, and if you only take 2, then you might not be as fast on the track as somebody who maybe took 4 tires. You're only going to gain a couple seconds.
You have to think about this as well. If they start getting really racy, which we're seeing this between Nelson and Zach right now, we saw that a moment ago between Soup and Grant. If they continue to get real racy and aggressive like this, they're probably going to assume, oh well, they're racing really hard. Maybe we should come in and pit and get a little bit of a lenient here where we get fresh tires and all, and we'll be in better position because they'll come down to pit to get tires. But when they come down to pit, we'll stay out. You get what I mean? And then that looks like you're around near the front. Maybe they're going to think about that possible lurking caution that might come out with them being aggressive.
If they're going to come down pit road and short pit, they're going to have to do it beyond lap 104. That would be about the safest you could do it. Maybe even stretch it as far as lap 107, and that way you know for sure you can make it.
Well, I'm looking at the fact of, I'm not talking about like, they've got the normal one stop coming up, right? They got that one stop coming up they will make. But I'm wondering after that if there's going to be someone who's going to sit there and say, okay, well, they're going to be really aggressive in this last part after that last pit stop. I'm going to come down. I'm going to take tires and hope and gamble that there's going to be a caution, and I'll get the wave around with a lucky dog, and I'll be right back up there while they have to pit.
I don't know.
What I mean? I wonder if that'll help.
I don't know if you use that kind of strategy in an all-star race, though. I mean, for a normal points-paying race, absolutely throw the dice, see if it works. But this is something a little bit more than that. I think the track position overall is better in running up with the lead group because I don't know how prevalent the draft is. I don't know if you needed to stay within this lead pack because we've seen a few drivers fall out of it. So I don't know.
Donnie Garrett's way back here. I mean, that's still a surprise. I'm so shocked to see Donnie running back here in 13th behind John Godfrey. I mean, we saw Donnie near the front, and he got that little bit of a dodge. Remember earlier on, he had 2 epic dodges in this whole week, especially one from the Open and then one tonight that we saw. And he was able to get near the front. Then he came into pit again, and he got inverted back up to the front by a lucky draw. And then look what happened. He got kicked up to the high side. He fell back, and he hasn't been able to recover. I mean, certain drivers back here is what I'm referring to. Some of these drivers might have to pick strategy as we see another pass going on up here near the front for position. Looks like Robert Balcom's about to lose position to Jeff Suka, and Balcom just blinked out on my end.
I was on him, and the camera just froze for a minute. I don't know if he's come back in or not.
Yeah, Balcom has... Oh gosh, Balcom has dropped all the way down to 14th on the running order. So is he back? Is he okay?
I haven't seen him come back on the track. This might be that yellow flag. This wouldn't be the yellow flag that you were talking about, but this might be a yellow flag to throw this mix in. And now it's kind of made this pack of cars a little nervous back here. They don't know where Robert is on the track. They don't even know if he's still running on the track.
Robert just fell out of TeamSpeak. He fell out of TeamSpeak.
That means that he might have dropped away from this race. That's a shame, too. He had such a strong car tonight, and he looked like he was a potential to win this race. And if this is how he's gone out, then I feel so bad for him. You hate to see when, especially on a online race where
Bob Seminara has put out that he is hitting this time. So a couple of strategy calls starting to come up, like we were talking about. It's 103 right now for some of these drivers.
Seminara was one of those drivers running at the very back of the pack, so he was probably more or less trying to get out of the other driver's way. But if this goes his way, I don't know if he has pace to stay in front of these drivers outright. So this is probably more or less to get out of the way of everybody else.
Look at that. Did you see that? Grant Wesley with an aggressive move, and Josh Metallic all the way up near the high side of that wall area. And whoa. What is going on here?
Farrell slid back up the racetrack. I thought he was going to get contact with everybody. That was not a way to get around a back marker.
Oh my. That was really some aggressive driving and really good self-awareness to make it around that and without having a huge wreck. So props to these guys for able to safely navigate without bringing out the yellow. I mean, that's good self-awareness and good hands right there, Anthony.
Indeed, it is. That
Glenn
could have
Harris
been
is
a
on pit road
disaster.
now.
He's another one of
Bobby
those
Farrell's
backmarkers.
way up the track. I'm thinking his tires are gone. Either that or he's way. I know he's off pace a little bit, but I wonder how much tires are worn on that 45 machine.
I don't remember. I think he
Because he's
pitted when
pushing up
everyone.
bad.
I think he pitted when everyone else came down. So maybe something else is wrong with that car. Maybe he's got some aero damage that's causing him to be really tight in the turns.
The 006 of Zach Vermel and Lieutenant Terry Bombard going side by side here. Looks like Terry's going to get the advantage here and pull right up to the back of Dave Melson. Melson's kind of fallen back a little bit off Jeff Supta, but it looks like it's going to be Supta, Metallic, and Grant Wesley as the top three at this point. Glenn Harris is pitted. He's coming off the pit road now. Dave Robbins looking on the inside of the 17 Chuck McClure. Not going to be able to make the pass right now. Maybe he's going to get there. He's right there at the quarter panel of the 17. But it looks like he's not going to be able to get it done, unfortunately, this time by. As they're going to have to, this back half back here is now from 8th on back, they're going to have to encounter some lap traffic back here while the top three are trying to pull away. We now have an idea, I'm guessing, from you. You talked about 104 lap mark. I mean, now we're on lap 108, so what do you see going to happen based on two drivers already pitting?
Well, those two drivers are at the back of the field. They're maybe trying to stretch it out and see what they can do with that.
Bobby is pitting now.
It looks like they are going to short pit. Maybe they're going to try and maybe stretch it, as you said they would. So we're going to see what they can do.
I mean, they can make it the rest of the way on fuel, but you're talking about the tires. I know that there's a tire issue as well with how aggressive, and we've seen them slide way up and start losing speed, lose time, lap time start ticking off. But we also got to think about this. Remember what I mentioned earlier, and there is a caution. Caution is out.
Oh, well, this throws a monkey wrench into everything.
The car, 96, Dave Robbins. Oh my, we had a talk with him, and it was him. Oh boy, I did not see what happened, so we're going to have to go back and check that out. But anyway, at the line, it's going to be Grant Wesley leading back to the caution.
That solves the do you pit, do you not question.
And it looked like he got ran in the back of by, it looks like the 77 of Donnie Garrett there, from what I'm looking at. I don't know if Donnie just took too much speed, because Dave was drafting behind Chuck McClure for a little bit, because remember I said he was trying to make a move and he didn't make the move. He was staying in line. Donnie came in there and just hit him in the back. I don't know what was going on there. I think what happened was Chuck was a little bit slower, and then Dave checked up too much maybe, and Donnie ran in the back of him. I'm not really sure. I mean, the speed is questionable going in there, so I'm wondering if Dave had to back off.
Well, we're going to see what's going to happen. There's a few drivers staying out on this cycle. We're going to look at see what drivers are going to do, see if they get out of pit road quicker. This would probably be our final pit stop, because we're only going to have a total of 20 laps to go when we get back to green, or somewhere around there. So we're going to see what these drivers are going to do. Wesley was your leader. He's on pit road. Looks like it's going to be at least a 2-tire for him. I would imagine you would take 4 tires here. And they are. Wesley's taking 4. Pretty much everyone's going to take 4 tires. Now who's going to win the race off? It looks like it might be, I don't know where the scoring line is. Metallic might have just got it. I think Metallic might have just gotten it over Wesley. Depending on where the actual scoring line is, and we'll have to wait and see. But I think the 39 car of Metallic is going to be your leader. There's a lot of drivers that stayed out too. In fact, these drivers have pitted already. Drivers like Harris and Manjan, Seminara, And Garrett, I think you said that Donnie Garrett was one of those drivers that were involved. He's coming down pit road. Manjan, I'm sorry, did not pit, but Glenn Harris did, so he's going to inherit the lead, I think. We're going to go take a look and see what happened to put us under this yellow flag. Going back here, I'm not sure if it was Donnie. We're going to find out. I think Jess said it was. One of these two cars, I think.
All right,
Both
I am back. I was having a little bit of a discussion with one of the admins here about about everything that was going on. But yeah, about the caution, it was between Dave Robbins. Dave Robbins was behind Chuck McClure, and to me, it just looked like Dave Robbins had to check up a little bit behind Chuck and Donnie. Donnie coming in the way he was able to try to run up on the back end. I don't think he expected Dave to back off that much and just light contact, and then around they went. Got a little bit of back damage to the 77 of the Garrett machine now. But unfortunately, Chuck is okay, but I've been wondering about that 96, how badly injured the 96 is. The 96 doesn't look that bad though.
I thought I saw it smoking. That might have been just the tire smoke coming down.
Yeah.
I think he's fine. That was a hard hit into the outside wall for both these drivers, but we'll have to see how badly damaged those cars are. Tough break for Dave Robbins and Donnie Garrett. I don't know if you'd call that a race. I think you just call that a racing deal. There's no way for someone to know if you're going to slow down that much in the turn, and it was tight racing.
Plus, I want you to realize that they were in the middle of the high side of that track. They weren't on the bottom, so that the tires must have been wearing, and they were trying to back off a little bit. So that's why they were probably a little bit higher up than normal, so they wouldn't be wearing out the tires on the bottom of that. Andre Marjan will be getting one of his laps back as the free pass machine. And he goes around. I know a couple of the other drivers are getting their lap back. I saw Glenn Harris, Dante Ricky. They're among a few of the others, along with Bobby Farrell, able to get the wave around.
So we're going to have 21 laps to go. When we get to the line, these drivers will not have to make another stop. They can go all the way to the end on fuel and should be able to make it all the way to the end on tires. I don't think we've seen the last yellow. These drivers, that their aggression level is going to get up now it's time for crunch time. You cannot reserve anything now. The win and bragging rights are on the line. Josh Metallic to the inside. He's going to be your leader. Grant Wesley's going to be starting in the second place position. Then it's going to be Jeff Zupta, and it's going to be Terry Bombard in the first position.
I want to point out one thing. We're getting close to a 20 lap to go mark too now.
So I say 21 laps to go when we get to the line. So hopefully everyone can race cleanly to the end. We'll have to see as green flag is back out. And Wesley did not let Metallic get a jump on him. He's going to stay right with him, but I don't think that outside line is going to have enough speed to actually keep up.
Yeah, Terry Bombard wasn't able to get a really good run there either. And there's a gap that's opening. Looks like they're going to get in line here. Yep, now they're going to get in line. There's all single file back, and you know what we saw last time, side by side for multiple laps until the very end of this, and that looks like that's what we're about to see again. They're trying to get position. Chuck McClure is to the inside of Terry Bombard. He's wanting to get the position. They're really starting to pick up the intensity. We've seen that after every restart, so I don't expect this restart to be any less calm. Do you, Anthony?
Oh, no, absolutely not. In fact, it's already proven to be a little bit in the way of chaotic. Is you gotta give shout out to McClure. He was involved in one of our incidences early on in the race, and he is now back in the 6th position with a fighting chance to maybe get a top 5, possibly a win. We'll have to see what happens up at the front of the field.
I'm just really surprised that we saw Josh Metallic. Remember, he went way to the back, and then he came back up to the front, and it looks like he's about to go back again. It's just Dupla's going to take a peek underneath him in the Tony Fox machine.
And it looks like he's going to make that pass done. Wesley's going to follow him, so put the 11 to the lead. But the 88 is catching up, and I think
the 88 wants it. The 88 is going to fight for him. He saw the position, and he saw the door open. He's going to take that position and try to go down there. So going back to Josh Metallic, though, I mean, we've seen him go up and down, up and down, up and down this race. He just hasn't been able to get the runs he needs, but it's good to see him. He's back up in the top 5, running 3rd currently, leading a little bit more. So maybe he's back in this game, and he's just playing around, calmly waiting for his moment to strike. Unfortunately, we have not seen Robert Falcom come back, so I'm guessing he's going to officially be out tonight, unfortunately. That's a heartbreak for the 018 because he had a good run going. Look, Zach Freeman hit the apron and it calls a checkup, and now Terry Bombard's around, and caution's coming out,
McClure
and it
got
looks like
around.
Chuck McClure just went around too.
Big incident out of turn 4. It looks like 3, maybe 4 cars might have been a part of it.
That started when the 006 car of Zach Freeman hit the apron just a little bit. Everyone started backing off, and when everyone started checking up, that's when chaos ensued. And luckily, we got through with only a couple of drivers involved in that. But I mean, look at Chuck McClure's machine. That is tough. That back end is smashed in.
I don't think he'll be at competitive pace anymore. That's unfortunate for him. I think he was involved in an incident that happened after the main one. That's got to be painful to watch. And up at the front of the field, we see that it looks like Jeff Zoot is going to hold on to the lead. We're going to quickly take a look and see what happened. Gotta feel bad for him. I mean, he had such a good run, and we actually thought that he might be able to pull something out of here, but like he's not going to be able to tonight. Run back and take a look. It was in turn 4. It was all this happened. I saw. Oh, it looks like it was McClure that actually started all of this. We're gonna quickly see. Indeed, it was McClure that actually started this incident. I think he got into. Oh, actually, no. No, Terry Bombard was checking up because Fremont maybe slowed down or he had to check up a little bit.
Fremont hit the apron, what I told you. If you look at it, Fremont goes right down, hits the apron, and that's what I said. There was a checkup behind the 006. And that checkup is what caused all that chaos to ensue. But luckily, we didn't get through with a huge bit of damage to drivers, which it could have been a lot worse than what it was. But the one who got the bad end of that deal was 17 with a lot of damage on the back end of that.
Indeed. So he got bumped up the track by Dave Melson.
I did get a random message throughout that time while a couple of other drivers are coming down pit road. The FRN admin for the NR 2003 side, Seth Cole, popped in and gave us an update on Robert Falcom. He lost power at the house because it's storming very bad where he is currently.
Oh,
so tough luck and tough break for the 018 of Robert Falcom. But if I know Robert's probably upset about that. But we know Robert's going to get himself some more wins throughout the season, so I'm sure he'll be back next season in this event. No, don't worry, not a problem.
Indeed. So you gotta feel bad for Robert Balcom, though. He was running so well, and then to have something like that happen is always, it's painful because you didn't do anything. It wasn't anything that you could control, and I would feel gutted if that happened, and I feel bad for Robert. We never want to see drivers. I've said it again, and I'll say it. Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We never want to have an incident like that happen on the regular. It's just it's soul crushing when something like that happens, and I always feel bad for drivers who go out because of those circumstances. At the front of the field, back to live action.
I'm gonna bring in a special guest while we're sitting here waiting. Unfortunately, the driver was out of the race, but he has been okay to give an interview because he did whisper me about this. So we're gonna bring in Dante.
Hey Dante, it's Anthony and Justin in the booth. You got us?
Yep.
Well, it's crazy action going on the racetrack. How is your race faring?
Well, it was a really tough night for me and the number 84 Rubicon Ford team. Unfortunately, my streak of top 5 finishes is going to end tonight. This has always been a good racetrack for me, but tonight we just made way too many mistakes. Lost the draft at the beginning, had some warp issues, got caught up in the opening wreck, which I feel horrible about. And, this last caution, I ended up parking because we made a mistake and raced back to the line, lost track of my laps, and, I feel bad. So it's just a big deal. We got a lot of damage on our car, and we were already a couple mile an hour slower than everyone else. So I just figured, let everybody race it out, and it was a tough night for us.
Yeah, it
Man,
was a really tough night for you, Dante. At the very beginning of the race, when you backed off, I thought that was strategy because I thought you were going to let them kill their tires and you're just going to reel them back in. Looks like we're going to go green this time by. Lap 121 will be completed. We'll start lap 122 with a little bit over 10 laps to go in this event. Jeff Supta will be the leader coming back.
indeed he will. Like, we're gonna about to ready to take the green flag back. And they get the green. It looks like that they're gonna stay right beside each other. They're not gonna go anywhere. Looks like Wesley's gonna try and maybe dive bomb it into turn one. I don't think he's gonna make it stick, but for the moment he's there. Way up on the track goes the
Oh, wow. They're
088.
going 3 wide. Did he get the wall up there?
No, I think he was able to hold it. I don't think he was able. I think he was able to keep it off the wall, but Zuka, I
Dante.
think, caught the wall going down.
Dante, you've been on part of these restarts. How aggressive have they been on these restarts? Because we keep seeing every restart, they're going side by side, pushing it really hard. Like, is that wise that they need to be doing that? I mean,
Well,
we've seen that all race.
when you get under 20 to go, a lot of desperate moves get made. And I think that was the first time that we really saw a lot of the 3 wide action and some people taking
There's
advantage
another
of all
3
that
wide
space
right
off of
here
turn
about
two.
to take place, but it looks like they think better of it. Oh, no, Chuck McClure's going to make it 3 wide.
You think he wouldn't do that after what happened last time, but
Oh, they almost made contact. Richard Martin almost makes contact.
he's still almost there, but I think they're gonna hold it, and Richard
Oh,
gets
no,
the
Richard Martin's
inside.
going to peek underneath.
Man, they're racing. It is crunch time. It is crunch time now. This is the end of the race. You have to go fast. You have to make every position count. Right now, Zutka's got a major lead over Metallic, but Metallic's going to come back. He wants this lead away from the 11. Jess, we're getting to crunch time. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, like we said, I'd love to see that Tony Fox machine win, but Metallic has had a little bit of a mishap lately where he took a vacation. He missed out on a few races, but he had a well-deserved vacation, though he needed that. And he comes back, and he was unfortunately, based on the vacation that he took, he was eliminated from the Super Speedway series. I'm not sure what Super Speedway series or if it was a couple of other series that he was in. He was eliminated from the playoff chance on those. And, it would be a really great comeback story for him if he can get a win here tonight, but he's going to have to give around that 11 machine. But the problem is with that 11 machine, the 11 machine's got more to fight for. Not just the fact of winning the race, but he's carrying Tony Fox, one of the RTG's colleagues and longtime friends here.
Melson got a bit squirrely. I think maybe Wesley got into him. He got bumped up the racetrack. He's going to lose a couple positions after that. Up at the front, looks like Metallic's going to go to the inside of the 11. Battle for the lead.
I'm not sure if Super's going to let him go and try to do a crossover, if he's just going to sit there and battle back on that high side lap after lap, because we know that if they keep doing that, it's going to bring back that third place driver right up in the back on, which it is doing currently right now.
Metallic to the lead. He does clear the 11, but that also brought the 88 of Grant Wesley. He's going to be underneath. He's going to try and take the second place position away. They're door to door with each other going on the back stretch.
We're under less than 10 to go. Every bet is off right now.
This is crunch time. This is the end of the race. You have to find your position wherever you can. None of these leaders came down pit road the last time.
McClure got bumped a little bit by Terry Bombard, but he saved it, and Terry saved it as well. They're really going at it back here. They're really trying everything they can to get every little ounce of position. And it's not just for leaders. It's for 5th, it's for 10th, it's for 14th. It doesn't matter. They want to make sure they get the best finish in this race possible.
And look who's running 4th right now. Ronald Lucier, who's come up through the field. We haven't seen him at the front of the field for a while now. He's made his presence felt. He's also bringing Andre Monjean with him. And Dave Melson's back here.
Zach coming up underneath John Godfrey. That's going to be for 7th unless John can hold on. Zach looks like he's about to get the position. We saw Zach up near the front for a while too. So I don't know if Zach has plenty of time left to get up there. But I mean, they're really starting to push the damn thing. They're really getting everything they can get out of these cars now. Side by side, Dave Melson here. and right in front of Zach Freeman. And again, Jeff Zuka a little bit higher up, trying to arc it in to get more of a run on the 88 machine. But I don't think he's there just yet. But Metallic, he's currently in control of this race.
5 laps, or no, actually, it's more. It's 5 laps to go at this point in time. You think that these drivers are going to save everything for now, and here comes Wesley. He's going to try and swing it down to the backstretch. He's going to run a Metallic, but he's also bringing Zupta with him. Lucier, also on a tear. He's trying to make it into the top 3, and he's bringing a whole bunch of cars with him. There's the 006 of Zach Freeman, like you said. He's coming back up. He's trying to go with
battling back
Nelson.
here. Chuck McClure, Terry Bombard side by side. Then it's getting a little bit hectic right next to Zach Freeman as well. They're battling side by side back here, trying to get everything they can, just to try to get a little bit more position. But I think from pretty much 4th on back, they're pretty much using everything they got. I think right now Josh Metallic is trying everything he can to keep what he's got, but I don't see it. I mean, Grant might be setting him up for a slingshot pass at one point, because it seems like Metallic has a little bit where he pushes up, like right there, how he pushes up off the exit of the tile. And it looks like Grant's going to take advantage of it and go to the lead. He's peeking up underneath. Zupta dives down to block the advancements that's coming from behind him. So I don't know. This is getting really good. Here it goes. 3 wide, 2 rows deep, almost.
3 wide for the lead. Zupta on the bottom. He's going to be on the bottom of the racetrack. He's
And
got
that's
to
going
check
to bring
up.
Terry Bombard up.
Wow, it looked like a Metallic on the back of the 11 as it came out of the straight. Look at this gaggle of cars. There's now 5 of them in the screen, and we've got, what, 2 to go? This is intense. This is going to go down to the line.
Yes, we got 2 laps to go this time, and we see him come out the corner. We know, Grant's going to get close to that wall. It looks like he barely tapped it. And we know that 11 wants to win based on the Tony Fox scheme that he's driving. Zach Freeman, he was up front. He got to the back. He was involved in an incident. Now he wants to come back and make up for what happened to him earlier. Grant Wesley, he wants to cap off a season that's been nothing but good for him. Couple of championships. He won the bracket, I think the Challenger or Charger series. I cannot remember which one, but he wants to have a lot more on his resume. And there's a bump to the back of Ron Luzier with Dave Mellison, and caution is out.
Oh, the yellow flag was out. Oh, that's the end of the race. The yellow flag was out. And Jeff Zupta is going to be your winner.
Caution comes out, and that pretty much just, I don't know what happened. Ron Luzier spun in the backstretch back here, but I don't know if he was the reason that the caution came out.
I think that's the end of the race. I thought that they were going to go around one more time, but the caution was out. And your leader, I think, is Jeff Zupta. I think he's going to win this race.
I didn't see the caution come out until the last second. They got to wait for the pace car to come by.
This is the final lap. Your winner.
Yes, this is the final lap right here.
Your winner, the 11 of Jeff Zupta and the Tony Fox tribute car. What a win!
Have you ever?
I mean, yeah, but it's been a while. What
and
a
how
run.
about that comeback story for Zach Freeman after getting EOL and the damage he had all the way in the back, getting right near the front, only to get involved in incident to fall to the back and come back to the front like that. That's a great comeback story, even though he didn't get the win, but that's a great comeback for that driver.
Indeed it is. Well, that's your winner right there.
Oh my gosh.
I was so confused. I didn't know who won the race. I thought we were going around again and everyone was checking up. There's second place, Zach Freeman. He's going to be in second, and Grant Wesley's going to finish the day in 3rd position.
So real quick to look back on what brought out the caution. I believe I'm getting told it was the issue with the 17 of Chuck McClure. So if we can, real quick, if you don't mind, can we go back and look at what brought out the caution?
Indeed, we will. I'm trying to find. There he is. There's the leader, Jeff Zupta, doing the burnouts. He is your winner of the All-Star race. Burning it down for Tony Fox. That's a good feel-good story.
Didn't we say that we were looking for him to win this thing?
Indeed, we were. And
I am extremely happy that he ends up winning that. I mean, he does. if anyone deserves it, he does.
Indeed. So you
Just
said
looking
which
back
car
at
was
what
it was?
just looking back at what happened here, looked like Chuck McClure had a run on Dave Melson. He went to the high side. Andre Marjan bumped him a little bit, and looked like the 17 got out of shape just so slightly, and that's what brought out the caution.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna show you guys on screen. So
It was in the trial coming to the white flag, so that's unfortunate. But I'm happy and glad to see that 11 car in victory lane, especially with the Tony Fox team. Well deserved.
Yeah, they were like you said, they were running really close, and it looks like that maybe McClure checked up and Marjan got in the back of him. You're absolutely right. That's what happened. Wow, what a race. What a victory. What a confusing ending. That caution came out late. They were about ready to take the white flag when that yellow came out. That's why we were so confused. Yellow came out right before they crossed the line. But yeah, there's the incident you see on the screen. That's what put us under the yellow flag. That's what ended the race. An incident between Marjan and McClure.
So the official running order for the All-Star race: Jeff Supta will win in the Tony Fox scheme that he was running as a tribute to our great colleague here in RTG, a great friend of the group. Good job for Jeff Supta running and getting that win. I mean, I can't believe that happened, but it was just great, Anthony. And then second comes from a comeback, Zach Rimau. Grant Wesley, who looked like he might have been able to get this, ends up tapping the wall, got really squirrely, allow the opening that was needed for all this to even occur. Grant Wesley, I mean, he had a great run, but he unfortunately just couldn't get the job done. And honestly, I'm glad, because that means that I didn't. You get what I mean? That means I'm that the pick curse is there. So yay for me. Josh Metallic comes home fourth. Outside the top five will be Terry Bombard running in fifth, and then starting in sixth will be Dave Mellison, Glenn Harris in seventh. Great comeback. We didn't really talk much about Glenn Harris all night, and he finished seventh. So that was a great run that he had. Eighth will be 17 of Chuck McClure. Ninth, Terry Ballman. Richard Martin comes away 10th on the lead lap after his misfortune. So it was good to see that he got a top 10, even though it's not points paying. It's still good to see that he got a top 10 nonetheless. Andre Rayum, Bob Seminara, Donnie Garrett, they will finish in the top 13. Ron Luzier had an issue on that last lap that happened, and he ended up finishing 14th out with a disco problem. John Godfrey, 15th, one lap down. Andre Marjan had an accident that occurred. Dave Robbins, one lap down, which we saw the incident that pretty much took him out of contention earlier on. Bobby Farrell, who's had a lot of issues all night handling with his car, he ends up 2 laps down. And then drivers that are out of the race due to incidents earlier on, and an issue with Robert, obviously, for falling out due to a storm, is Dante Ricky, Robert Balcom, Frank Rivard, and Chris Elliott finishing up in 22nd of the whole list of the entries that ran the All-Star race tonight. So what do you think, Anthony? Should we go ahead and get the 88 Grant Wesley in here?
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get him in. Hey, Grant, it's Anthony and Jess in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
What a chaotic race towards the end of the race. How are you feeling after that? What we thought was green flag conditions and turned out to be a yellow flag.
Oh man, I wanted that to end under green so bad. If for nothing else, I was having so much fun. I had a lot of fun the entire race. It was fun racing up there with Supta and Josh and all those other guys. I mean, we were just, we were kind of banging doors a little bit unintentionally.
Did you hit the wall?
Yeah, I was trying to keep my momentum up there coming off turn 2 because I was trying to beat him to turn 3, and yeah, I just hit the wall there coming off turn 3.
Okay, Grant, I gotta say this. I didn't pick you. You didn't win. Yes, I am correct. When I don't pick you, you don't win. I'm happy. So now I know what to do to you every single race. So good for me.
Well, I'm glad you got that all figured out.
Man, we saw a lot of heated battles on the racetrack. It really amped up towards the end of the race. Did you feel confident in your machine? Do you think that maybe you could have pulled away, or do you think that the other drivers around you had just as much an advantage as you did?
Well, when Josh got the lead there for that last restart, I was a little concerned that he'd be hard to get around. When Josh got out front, he was driving a really good line. You know, he's been doing this for a while, and he's really got this place figured out. So I knew he was going to be difficult. Um, but yeah, I felt very confident in my car. I mean, this is one of my better tracks, uh, and it's always fun. So it's whenever I got up there, whenever I hit the wall there that time coming off turn 3, I pretty well figured it. My chances were shot at that point. And then I looked in the mirror, and it's like the whole field was right there behind us. So we were getting pushes up high. So that last lap was going to be really close.
Oh, Grant, I have to ask you. Um, Now we know how the end of this race all turned out, like the last 10 or 15 laps or so. But what I'm really interested in is the very first, like the first 100 laps or so. We saw you and Robert, you guys started, mid pack, and you guys still didn't make much headway coming up to the field until really late in that, like after the second round of pit stops. Then you guys started showing that you were, right there for contention. What was the issue? You said this is one of your favorite tracks. Was it just a issue of just riding along and just gain track position when it came, then push it toward the end, or how were you doing your strategy to get up there? Because you were back there for a while.
Yeah, I kind of screwed up my qualifying lap a little bit. I mean, I say I screwed it up, but truth be known, there's a lot of heavy hitters that run here at RTG, and they were all out tonight, and it was just hard to beat them. So, yeah, I think Robert started maybe 2 spots behind me, and you know how Robert is about saving tires, and I was doing the same. I was just being patient. It was early in the race. I wanted to save tire. I didn't want to save too much tire because there's not a tire stop rule per se. But yeah, I was just kind of being more patient towards the beginning of the race, and towards the middle to the end, I was really having a lot of fun and just dicing it up with him. I hated to see Robert drop out.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
all kind of upset to see that. We saw him and then we didn't, and then we were like, oh man. Like I said during the broadcast, we always hate it when a driver goes out for something like that where they can't control it necessarily, and it's a shame, and we feel so bad that his race had to end that way. But
But before we let you go, Grant, I mean, if you think about it, you've had a great season. I mean, you won nearly everything so far this season. Championships and races. And I mean, this is pretty much the culmination of the end of season 50. Getting ready to start season 51 next week, I believe, is when we're starting. Or at least I think it's next week. We start 51. So, I mean, you almost capped it off with an all-star race win too. I mean, what more could you want? You had a good season so far, and moving forward, I mean, are you satisfied with how everything happened? I know you didn't get to win that, but how are you satisfied with so far of the season 50 going to the all-star race?
Oh yeah, right now I've got so much momentum built up. Last season, season 50 was my best season by far. With it being season 50 and such a milestone for RTG, I kind of pushed myself a little bit harder and kind of put myself to the next level, I think. And yeah, right now, I mean, with the championships that I was able to cap off there in season 50, I've just got so much momentum, and I haven't won an all-star race here yet. Tonight I was real close. Hopefully somewhere down the road I can pick one up.
well, we appreciate that you decided, or you kind of had no choice to race tonight, but we're glad that you raced tonight, and congratulations on your third place position. You have any shout outs you want to give to anybody before we send you off?
Yeah, once again, I just want to thank Terry Bauman for doing such an awesome job on this track. It's one of my favorite tracks, and I'd like to thank the owners, Terry, Dave, and Sean, for making this such a great place, and all the competitors that show up on a regular basis. Congratulations to everyone that made the event tonight, and thank you guys for putting on the broadcast.
Absolutely, sir. And we'll see you hopefully sometime soon as more RTG racing to come.
Grant is, if I'm not mistaken, season 51 next week, right?
Yep, starts Monday.
We look forward to seeing you all race, and good luck to you.
Yep, thanks.
That was Grant Wesley in the 88. Now let's see if we can get our second place finisher, Zach Freeman, up here.
Okay, let's get the 006 here.
Hey, Zach, it's Anthony and Jess in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you guys. How you doing?
Good, good. Congratulations on second place. It seemed like your race tonight was more of a rubber banding effect. We saw you at the front, we saw you at the back, and then you got back to the front. How did you feel about tonight's race? You think that tonight your car felt good? You think that you had a shot to win tonight?
Yes. I think had that yellow not come out, coming to the white flag, I think we could have gotten Zupta. We had about 10 lap fresher tires from having to serve a penalty for the incident with Terry Bombard. And we came all the way from the back, all the way up to the front. Struggled with the car being real pushy all night long. There was a real specific line that you had to hit, and a real specific point that you had to really crack the throttle going into 1 and 3. And if you didn't do that, man, it would throw your lap times off real bad, and guys would get big runs on you. But we struggled a little bit getting freight trained a few times. You get stuck on the top of the bottom, and the guys decide that they're going to line up, and they're not racing real hard. But speed off the corner was my biggest issue. The first run, it was real fast. The second run, then I popped the wall on the front stretch, dinged the car up a little bit, but it wasn't bad. But all in all, great race. This is probably, I was telling the guys while we were waiting to get interviewed, I was like, this is probably the most upset I've ever been about a second place finish, because I wanted this one real bad. Run a bunch of these all-star races with all these guys, real talented individuals, great people, good drivers, every single one of them from start to finish, and just really wanted this. So just bummed, just real bummed.
Hey, Zach. Go ahead, Anthony.
No. You go ahead.
Zach, I have a really awkward question for you.
Sure, what's up? No, I don't want to get married. Sorry, did that once.
No, don't even go there. Don't even go there.
Well, you said it was an awkward question. I mean, look, I can have awkward conversations all day long.
Hey, if you want to survive around while I'm on the track, I'd rather we just drop that one. But
All right.
Anyway, so you were up near the front with Donnie, and then pit stops happened. You had an EOL. You went to the back, and then that inversion happened, and all of a sudden you're up near the front. How did that make you feel when that inversion happened and you went from the EOL way in the back, from leading the race with Donnie, all the way back up to the front with Donnie? Like, how did that make you feel when that inversion happened and you heard it?
Well, see, actually what happened was Chuck, Donnie, and I had a very specific plan that at the middle point of the race we were going to get EOLL penalties, just for kicks. We thought it'd be fun. And then we were like, yeah, if we ever do an invert. So it was totally intentional. Chuck, Donnie, and I, we coordinated it. RTG and its staff just really helped by deciding to go with the invert. And we were like, yep, back up to the front. Real easy.
That invert really did shake up things. And we see, us as commentators, we are always like, I have a feeling that this is going to happen. And then it happens. And we're like, oh, well, this race is just wide open.
Yeah. No, in all seriousness, that was a godsend. Chuck and I were talking about it. I was like, man, why can't that ever happen in the points paying races that we have, during those long seasons? You can never catch any luck like that. But it worked out real quick. One thing I would like to say, like, while I'm talking, standing on my soapbox here, is I want to thank every one of the drivers in the field tonight, the RTG owners, the RTG staff, every single race admin, every single race director, every single person that comes out, every night. Really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate everything you do. Really appreciate you guys putting all this on for us. Special shout out to Ghost, Rusty, Larry, and Dano. We did a moment of silence for them before the race. I wanted to make sure we got that in there too. And thank you guys very much for all your hard work and everything that you do on these broadcasts. One of these nights, hey, listen. You listening? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So one of these nights, I want to get in the broadcaster booth with you guys and call one of these things. All right. I'm calling my shot right now. I'm telling you guys, I want to do one. All right. You on board with it?
If Matthew Rodriguez is listening,
all I'm gonna say is I just want to make sure you are aware that we're talking NR or are we talking iRacing? Which one?
Well, I want to do one of these RTG races with you guys.
That's what I'm asking. You want to do the iRacing one? Or you want to do the NR one?
Yeah, we'll do the NR one. I know all these guys. It'll be a lot of fun.
We could really use all the help we can get for NR, and honestly, I'm sure Seth Cole. He usually pops in. You've seen him a couple times pop in here. He's the one that you go to for the NR 2030 stuff, and he should be more than happy to get you set up, Zach.
All right, Seth, listen, look, I'm going to be racing full-time season 51 barebone, so I can't do Monday nights, but you got a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday night, or you need me to do, you get a hold of me.
And there it is.
He's laying it out.
So will Seth Cole respond? We'll have to see next time. Find out
see
tonight
next
on
week
TMZ.
on Monday Night Raw, right?
Yeah, find out tonight on Monday Night Raw.
But Zach, I know that I believe Anthony's going to be doing the RTG Super Speedway Series commentary next season for all the races that are coming out there. I mean, it'd be nice to get you to do commentary with him.
Yeah, I'll pop in for a race. If I do good, maybe I'll come back. We'll see what happens. But seriously, thank you guys. We really appreciate you. Again, all the people in this community, great people, great drivers, and really appreciate everybody. I hope everybody stays safe and stays healthy.
Thank you, sir. And that was your second place finisher, Zach Freemel. Zach, thank you for coming up, and congratulations on your second place.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Jess.
Now, should we go ahead and get the Tony Fox winner in here?
Let's get our winner.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Hey, Jeff, it's Anthony and Jess in the booth. You got us?
I got you.
Congratulations on your win. First and foremost, that was a hard-fought victory, and especially because you had the Tony Fox paint scheme on. It means a lot to this community, and it means a lot to you and Tony, I would imagine. And again, that was a hard-fought win. What was the moment in the race towards the end? Because that was when crunch time happened. How much defensive driving did you have to do? Because we saw it. It was getting tight.
Well, my goal at the end was to try to get the lead, and then do exactly that. Hold them off, run as hard as I could. If I could pull away, I'd back off a little bit or something like that. But it it didn't work out like that. I had to drive real hard, and everybody was always there. That's the hardest I've driven in a long, long time.
Certainly had a fantastic drive tonight. We saw you up at the front of the field pretty much the entire night. A couple of times that you were mid-pack, maybe a little bit further behind than that. Did your car feel good? Did the track feel good? Is another question that we had to ask.
Well, yeah, I tried to be up in the top 5 the whole time, except for that inversion, which put me in the middle of the field. But the place to be is up front. And the first run, I ended up using my tires too much, and Robert and Grant got by me, and I just knew I could hold with them, but I couldn't get back to them or pass them. So I knew next couple runs I needed to take it easy, and I did exactly that, and I was able to stay in the top 3 or be leading.
Indeed. So now pit road strategy was a little bit, I guess it really was non-existent because we had yellows that came out around the time that the pit strategy was going to happen. That being said, did you ever consider maybe taking 2 tires on that last stop or no?
No, I was taking 4 no matter what. Even if it put me in the back of the field, I wanted 4. Even 5 laps on one side of the tires just slowed you down too much. And it was so hard to pass to begin with.
We saw the outside line was basically non-existent throughout the whole race. I think that you were one of the only ones that made the outside line work, though. It took you an entire lap to do it, but we saw you running around the outside line. Did that line come in as the race went on, or did it kind of just stay the way it was?
I used it when the tires started getting old and everybody else started slowing down. And if I had saved my tires enough, I, I was like, I'm just going to go around them on the outside. And some of them I couldn't do it, but it felt really good to be able to go on the outside of people or inside, depending who it was. You can't do that to everybody. There's just so much talent up in the front, you know.
Indeed. So, well, congratulations on your win tonight, Jess. Do you have any questions for our winner? Yes, that's
Okay,
it.
am I good now? Is it back?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, my team stick froze. So I'm sorry about that. I didn't hear anything and just like completely died with audio. So what? I'm sorry I did not hear that because my team stick wants to be ridiculous right now.
Oh, that's okay. I was asking if you had any questions you want to give to our race winner.
Hey Jeff, I just want to ask you: are you going to start running that Tony Fox game all the time, especially when Tony does come back?
I thought about doing it. See, here's the thing. I've been racing with Tony since 2013, so that's 7 years in a different league in this one. And we've met in real life. We've hung out on a boat, and had some beers and whatnot. He's a good friend, and it was devastating hearing what happened to him. So the only thing I can do for him is run his paint scheme in honor of him, let him know I'm thinking of him. And that was kind of the motivation tonight to push hard, real hard, because I don't usually drive this hard. I like to save my tires. I try to do it Bakken does, and just back off a little bit, let people pass me. This one, I wanted that car out front. I wanted everybody to see it, and I wanted Tony to see it.
I'm sure Tony was thrilled to see that you won in his scheme, and that leads me into this next segue. Do you have any shout outs you want to make? And I have a feeling I know what one of them are.
Yeah, Tony, obviously. Get well, man. He came in here earlier today, and he choked me up. I'll tell you, I didn't expect to see him, so just, thank RTG and everything they do to keep us racing and give us something to do and hang out with our friends and whatnot. And thank you guys, because I've been watching a lot of your older broadcasts, and it's enjoyable to watch what you guys do.
Well, thank you, and we hope that Tony does get well. I personally came to all of this kind of late. I was one of the newer additions to the FRN team, and everyone kept telling me about Tony Fox, and they mentioned get well soon, and I was like, oh, I don't really know what happened. And then I asked somebody once, and to hear the story it is kind of heartbreaking, and we're all of us here at FRN are pulling for Tony, and we hope that he does make a full recovery. And once again, congratulations on your win, Jeff, and we look forward to seeing you next week. I think it's the beginning of season 51, as Jess said.
Yeah.
So we look forward to
And
seeing
we
you.
are going to be broadcasting next week as well at the RTG Super Speedway Talladega Challenge Series on Thursday night. But I'm aware that we're going to be broadcasting here and there elsewhere as well regarding RTG, but I'm not sure about those dates yet.
We look forward to seeing Jeff and all the other drivers at RTG going into season 51 of their respective series. And again, congratulations on your win.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks, Zach, Josh, and Grant, Robert, the guys who were up front. I mean, we were racing close, and it was tight, and they're class. They have so much class, and
Any other
no wrecks up
shout-outs?
front.
Any other shout-outs you want to give out, Jeff? I mean, you got all the time in the world here.
No, that's it. Just thanking the drivers who raced me so clean tonight.
Well, we look forward to seeing you next week, and hope you have a safe rest of your night.
Thanks, guys. You too.
Looking forward to racing with you next week. So I will see you next week, Jeff, and congratulations once again.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye. Well, Jess, that was a heck of an all-star race.
I'm still trying to get over what the heck that last lap. They were. I could have swore Josh had it in the bag, and then Grant came out, and then all of a sudden there's Jeff, and then the whole pack coming up like that. I mean, we saw side by side racing off and on. We saw it on the restarts. We saw cautions take out a couple of containers that were doing pretty well near the front. Then that end, I mean, that's what All Star Racing's about. It's all fun and then really aggressive as well. They enjoy racing among each other, and I mean, I can't wait to see what they do next time we have an all-star race.
Going to be high octane, that's for sure. Jess, thank you once again for being with me tonight. It's always a pleasure to have you commentating with me, and it's a pleasure to commentate with you.
And same back, Anthony. I just really apologize that my team speak derp for a moment right a little earlier, but you know, I love being able to call these things. I mean, I've started getting in the hang of this, and I really enjoy it. And well, you know, we got a lot more coming up on our FRN broadcast. We've got other leagues that we do. Fuel that ran tonight as well. We have the Chris Cup Series. I believe they run still. I'm not sure if their season ended or not, but we've got that. We've got a whole bunch of other leagues that you can check out the website of the Flatout Racing Network. That I can actually talk. FlatoutRacingNetwork.com, and then visit the YouTube at Flatout Racing Network as well, because we've got a whole bunch of videos that we've covered, that we've done, and hey, and don't be shy if you want to talk about getting something sponsored or whatever, or seeing if your broadcast can be shown up or whatever. Just ask. Send a message to Matt Rodriguez or Seth Cole for NR or iRacing, and they'll take under consideration and see if the dates are available to do so. And I mean, it's a great season so far. I mean, we got done with season 50, and now we're going on season 51 for RTG. I mean, I'm looking forward. I'm going to be a little bit of the RTG season 51. And if the All-Star Open and the race itself for the main event is any indication how aggressive this is going to be moving forward, I'm really looking forward to seeing how aggressive things go from here.
Indeed so. And I'm looking forward to see all the action here on FRN in the near future. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night. I believe we have some races here on FRN, and you can tune into those races. And Jess, on behalf of Jessica Shelton, I'm Anthony McCurry. We'll see you next time here on the Flatout Racing Network. Have a good evening, everyone.
Goodbye from RTG.